John's just retired from astronautics. He was one of the last men to make a moonwalk. John, are you all right, son? You're white as a sheet and you're trembling.
Nothing I can do. It's happening again. I'm changing.
And in several seconds, we see before us a man-wolf. It runs through the darkness as it hunts its quarry. And that quarry is man. The mark of the man-wolf. A man-wolf.
Hello, welcome to the Werewolf by Night podcast, the show where we talk about Marvel's #1 lycanthrope, Jack Russell, a.k.a. the Werewolf, a.k.a. the Beast, a.k.a. the Shaggy One, a.k.a. the Night Beast, a.k.a. Russell Jackson. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
I'm your other host, Jacob Balcom.
And we're not talking about Jack Russell, so we're going to need a new intro, but we can't just start from scratch.
No, that would be crazy. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do for an intro. We're going to have to come up with something.
Yeah. And some people might be saying, you guys, if you're not talking about Jack Russell, the werewolf, what are you talking about? Jacob, what are we doing? We're back for season 2. What brought us back?
Well, I mean, I think we really missed doing this. I think, at least speaking for myself, it affected my mental health, not doing this every week.
Same here.
I definitely noticed a difference. And so, yeah, I just think you and I were ready to get back to the show, but maybe not ready yet to jump into Jack's post-title appearances yet, which we will probably do at a future date. So we're taking a little different approach. We're going to go with the other werewolf in Marvel Comics, which is Man-Wolf, John Jameson.
Mm-hmm. I almost said Rain from New Mutants, but that would be inaccurate.
that would be inaccurate.
Yeah, we weren't ready for the 80s yet, so we're sticking with the 70s.
Yes, that's a better way of putting it for sure.
Yeah, I would talk about anything from the 70s with you, any Marvel horror stuff. But I thought, unless we're willing to change the name to somehow reflect Marvel Bronze or something, Monster Marvel, blah blah blah, I just wasn't ready to change the name of the show. So I thought, well, let's at least call it. We'll stick with the title of Werewolf by Night podcast, but we're talking about another werewolf. That seems fair. It's like Luke and whatever Duke have gone, and Coin Vance are here.
That's right.
And it's still going to be a good season and a half.
The season of the Duke cousins.
Yes. Yeah. No Bo and Luke, but I think you're gonna enjoy some John Jameson III.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, I don't know. I think I was less familiar with this character than Jack Russell. I remember these first appearances that we're going to talk about. I think I first read this in like Marvel Tales 101 is when it was reprinted a few years later. Okay. And I remember that one specifically from a stack of like 70s Marvels that a friend's older brother gave me when I was quite small. And it was, life-changing. So I definitely remember this story.
This should resound with a lot of listeners or comics fans because it was also a Power Records book and comics set. I did not have the book and comics set. I had the 12-inch. So they just took a bunch of their Power Records stories and put them onto a 12-inch. So it was just like an audio thing. But I know this first appearance, the rewritten one for the record version, very well, like almost, on a DNA level. So I've heard this one many, many, many times, this original intro story. So it's got a very special place in my heart. It's my favorite superhero, my favorite type of monster together. So of course it's a favorite. So yeah, we came back to do this for our weekly therapy. And we're also kind of expanding a little bit and changing the program up a little bit. So we now have a Patreon, which is officially launched as of today, I think. So if you go to patreon.com/werewolf by night podcast, you can go there and join. We have several tiers of support for the show if you want to do that, and some goodies. We can talk about that now, Jacob, or
yeah,
later?
Let's definitely talk about it now.
So, we wanted everybody to have a little bit of something cool if they chipped in. A lot of people have offered in the past during the first season if they could support us somehow if we had a Patreon or a virtual tip jar or something, and we didn't. So, I thought I do want to come back, but I also wouldn't mind somebody paying for the hosting bills for the show. So we're giving you that chance. So there's several tier levels. There is the $1 a month level, which is called Committee Member. Thank you, Jacob, for coming up with that name.
You're welcome.
So we're going to talk about some base level rewards that you get. And the one that the $1 one, the Committee Member basically means you're just treating like a tip jar. You're saying, hey, guys, thanks for the good work you do. And but we do have a treat for you, a thank you. We commissioned James Edward Clark, the artist who did the Tales to Enlighten graphic novel recently, that art. I had him do an original piece that is Jack Russell as the werewolf and John Jameson as the man-wolf in a 2-piece commission. And that will be scanned in high res and made into a wallpaper for your computer. And those are also going to be cropped out and done into 2 individual wallpapers for your phone. So you can have a Jack Russell wallpaper or a man-wolf wallpaper, whatever you like. Those are a thank you that every tier gets for joining the Patreon. The next level up, I believe, is... I forgot what it is.
It's furry ones, right?
Yeah, so for $2 a month, you can become a furry one. And the furry ones get our bonus episodes. So every week we are publishing simultaneously with our regular show a bonus episode, which is the stuff like the multimedia werewolf stuff we talk about, werewolf movies, other comics we're reading, all that kind of stuff we do at the end of the show. We're just kind of chopping that off and making that a bonus for people that support us at the level of $2 or more, who are our furry ones. And so they get the first, the wallpaper and the bonus show every week. It's a hidden feed. So you actually add a secret URL into your podcast client, and it will just automatically throw in that bonus show for you once a week. The next level is Moon Beast, and they get those 2 things I just mentioned, plus the bonus show, a link to the bonus show as a video feed. So if you want to see us do our program, you can watch us do it that way. Some people like to watch the podcasts. Sometimes we'll show some art, hold some stuff up here and there. So that will kind of enhance that a little bit. And the final, that's $3 a month, by the way. And the final level is Pack Brother or Pack Sister, and that's $5 a month. You get all the things we mentioned, plus you get a shout out on the show, and there is some bonus material that we're making, video content and otherwise, that is just for the Pack Brothers and Pack Sisters. So I've just put up the first content on there. It's me unboxing my Huchin. What do they say when you call it, Jacob?
Oh, shit.
That's what they said?
That is really.
Oh, shit. Huchin.
I think it was Huchin.
I think it's Huchin, too. Me unboxing my Huchin binds of the Red Circle Archie Heroes books that I just had returned last week. And I kind of go through there a little bit, and I show you guys some of the work in there, and I even threw a music bed in there and did a little bit of fancy editing. So it's one of those little bonus things. We'll do stuff like that. I think some of the fun stuff we'll do is I want Jacob to take us on his iPhone a little video tour through his comic shelves and just kind of talk while he's doing it. I think we'll both be doing that. Just some little things like that that are fun. At least once a month, we'll do a small video project like that that's just for the Pack Brothers and Pack Sisters. So go to patreon.com/werewolfbynightpodcast and join us if you want to check out any of that stuff. And as I mentioned, we are tacking on the first bonus show at the end of this show. So don't stop listening when the theme song comes up like it normally does. I'm giving you the full experience of what someone else will have who is a Patreon supporter when they listen to our show and go, damn it, I need more Matt and Jacob.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. So yes, that's what's coming up. But we do have some stuff to talk about here as far as how Man-Wolf, you guys keep saying Jameson. I thought he was like a guy that hassles the Spider-Man all the time.
Yeah.
Drop some knowledge.
Well, his dad is J. Jonah Jameson, and that character was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and showed up in the very first issue of Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, and he's a aeronautics?
Astronautics, I think they call it. Oh.
So the first thing he does is save Colonel John Jameson during a launch, right? It's been a while since I've read Spider-Man 1. That's part of, I think, JJJ's beef with him is that he emasculated his son by saving his brave Air Force or whatever, NASA son.
Yeah.
Being a masked thug. And so there's a lot of beef that's been going on for a lot of years.
But then the character kind of disappears after that, really.
Yeah, he doesn't come around much. Somebody in editorial decided it'd be fun to take that. JJJ has created, inadvertently or directly, created some villains for Spider-Man, like the Spider Slayers, Scorpion. And there is a storyline that we might do on Patreon as one of our bonus things for the upper tiers, us covering the Colonel Jupiter, I believe, is the storyline, where John Jameson gets some powers and mixes it up with Spider-Man, which is kind of fun. That's like around the 40s, I think, issue 44, 45, something like that around there. And there's another story that I always liked that was Doc Ock stealing the ultimate nullifier from NASA, which I don't know why they had it or what they were going to do with it, but Colonel Jameson is tasked with getting it back, and so he mixes it up with Doc Ock and Spider-Man, and that's a good story too. But those are his big arcs, I think. He just would pop in every once in a while in his dress suit, his with his medals on and stuff, and just say hi to his dad with his crew cut and then leave.
Yeah,
for the most part. So, yeah, talk about why this guy sprouted fur and fangs and became a monster in 1973.
Well, yeah, it's an origin that's a bit like the origin of Jack Russell. It starts off, it starts off with Stan Lee. I'm going to quote Roy Thomas, who said in the interview published in Comic Book Artist 13, he says, Stan just wanted a character called Man-Wolf. It was that whole Marvel flooding the market thing. If you've got Dracula, you can have Morbius. If you've got Werewolf by Night, you can have Man-Wolf. He goes on to say, we didn't have a concept for Man-Wolf, and Jerry and John Romita were trying to come up with something. And Roy Thomas says, my only contribution was to say, hey, make it J. Jonah Jameson's son. He was an astronaut, and he went up in space, found a moon rock, and it turns him into a werewolf. Just like Morbius was a science fiction vampire, we could make Man-Wolf a science fiction werewolf.
Which I think is pretty cool.
It's very cool. Yeah, it's a great idea. Of course, the other creator, I think that Roy Thomas, Jerry Conway, and Gil Kane are basically the creators. I haven't seen Romita. I mean, I guess he's, he inks the issue and stuff, but the three names I've seen mostly associated with his creation were, Roy Thomas, Jerry Conway, and Gil Kane. And Jerry Conway, which, as we know, was a creator on Werewolf by Night, along with Roy Thomas. And he remembers the origin a little bit differently. He talked in an interview in back issue 44. He said he wanted to do something with John Jameson for a long time. And since he had been to the moon, it would make sense to fold that character into this new Man-Wolf concept. So Jerry and Roy, they worked together for many years, with Roy as more of the idea man, and Jerry was the kid who would do the details of the character as well as like the actual scripts. So from piecing everyone's story together, Man-Wolf's origin was basically Stan Lee saying, more werewolves. Yeah. And then Roy goes, oh, okay, fuck. We already have Werewolf by Night. Universal owns the rights to Wolf Man. So Man-Wolf. And he went to the moon. And he's like, Jerry, go. And then the 20-year-old kid kind of he sighs and then ends up doing all the work.
That sounds completely plausible.
I think from seeing all sides on that, I think that's the most plausible explanation of the origin.
I would bet that even Stan actually came by their desks and just said, do Man-Wolf. I'm going, Hugh Hefner's in town. I'm going to join him for lunch. Have 4 ideas by the time I come back.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, pretty great. And the artist who I think worked mostly on the character design was Gil Kane. I'm sure Romita had something to do with it. He had something to do with everything that was done at this time in Marvel I don't know if he's officially the art director by this point, but he's definitely unofficially the house art director.
De facto.
Yeah. Yeah, everything pretty much goes through him. Gil Kane was pretty busy at this time, as we talked about in last season. Gil Kane did every cover for years at Marvel, and so he's right in the middle of doing that. Yeah, the issue we're talking about today, Amazing Spider-Man 124. It came out in September of 1973. Its cover date September of 73. And Gil Kane had just done the cover to Marvel Team Up 12 the month before in August of 73, which featured Spider-Man and Werewolf by Night, which we had gone over.
Yes, I believe that is our 12th episode of season 1, actually. Marvel Team Up issue 12, episode 12. I remember that was the one time the numbering crossed over.
Yeah.
Do you remember why Pete was in San Francisco for that issue? I was trying to remember without actually cracking the comic again.
Crap, I know. I don't know if I can remember.
It's not important, but I thought that was funny that this was definitely that height, like you were saying, of just throw every monster you can out on the stands, crowd the stands full of monsters while kids are buying them. Like, Stan's almost like a pimp at this point, as far as like, and I don't mean that in a modern, hip, cool way. I mean, like,
no.
Like, he's like that sleazy producer. Like, there's a dance called the Shimmy right now. I need 17 songs called the Shimmy by 4 different bands, just teenagers. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
Get them out now while people give a shit. Like, he's a businessman.
Yeah, well, that was his strategy too. I mean, he had the Marvel Black and Whites. He's literally trying to push out Skywald, Warren. Like, he's just trying to take up as much space as possible in the black and white magazines and in the comics. He's trying to dominate.
Yeah, he's a typical human.
Yeah. Yes.
Spread like a virus to take everything, burn up all of its resources, and move on from the smoking, soulless husk that he left behind.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this time period in 1973 is really huge for werewolves at Marvel. Gil Kane, yeah, it's funny. Gil Kane's going to illustrate Werewolf by Night 11 and 12 featuring the Hangman in like 2 months after this comes out. So Gil Kane's done a lot of werewolves. Yeah.
It's a good year for werewolves. And you have to bear in mind that we walked on the moon in 1969. So that was pretty recent in pop culture history. So I can see why that kind of bringing a moon rock home from a moonwalk would be a plausible origin story, which has probably had some exciting juice to it, you know?
That's true. I mean, it probably wasn't, you couldn't rule it out in 73. I mean, maybe there are magic rocks up there. We don't know. We haven't figured it out yet. Yeah.
Thank you, Kubrick. Yeah. So one of our things that we need is, I think that's a good baseline for Colonel John Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we'll refer to him as J3 because he's JJJ's son, but JJJ of the Daily Bugle is John Jonah Jameson II.
Mm-hmm.
So the Colonel Jameson is actually the third John Jonah Jameson, but he doesn't use the Jonah like his dad does. So the publisher says J. Jonah Jameson, but the J is not J-A-Y, it's J period. And it's John. He just always emphasized his middle name, J. Jonah.
Okay.
My middle name's Jacob, so I would say M. Jacob Howell if I were doing what JJJ does. So Colonel John Jonah Jameson III is the third of that lineage in his family that has that same name.
Oh, I'm already confused.
So J3, we just need to be, it's just J to the third power.
J to the third power. I mean, I was just going John and Jonah.
You can, okay, yeah, if you want to keep it easy.
I'd prefer to keep it easy because I will get really confused.
Okay. We can just call one Hitler mustache and one NASA dude, space dude, whatever you want to. We can make it. Okay, that's fine. But here's a problem. We established over our entire season of just over a year of the last show some very intricate and impassioned drinking rules that would force us to have a drink when Jack or the werewolf that he becomes did particular things. Those are jettisoned now. We are at sea, floating between our space capsule and the moon right now. We have nothing. So what I'm going to do as a starting point is use our old rules whenever they apply, but realize that we are sorely missing some opportunities to have some whiskey. So what I need you folks out there to do is send those in to us as you think of them. So if there's something that you're seeing a pattern, something that constantly happens with John, send them in to werewolfbynightpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know, or send them to us at our Twitter account or whatever, and we can get that drinking game going.
Yeah, this is a Marvel comic in the 70s, so there's going to be tropes. Tropes are going to show up.
Definitely.
That's a guarantee on that. So But yeah, we do need excuses to drink. It makes us feel better about how much we consume.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm even, as part of my New Year's, Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
I'm doing a much restricted drinking. This is my one night of the week where I can actually drink. So,
Oh, wow.
we need a lot of drinking rules for this night.
Okay.
I can have alcoholic beverages two on the weekend, one weekend night, and multiple on Tuesday. But there's no holds barred on Tuesday.
Wow, that is really regimented. Good for you.
Yeah, it's one of my big changes there. Do you have any good resolutions?
I have none.
Okay, good.
I am perfect exactly how I am.
Yeah, you're post-human.
Yeah, pretty
I love
much.
it. Another thing is, one of our listeners, Ben McClure, a friend of ours that was on the show in the first season, he's an incredible mixologist, a bartender guy. He's not a professional bartender, but he does it with passion and verve and knowledge. And he made the Plug Plasma for us last season, which was a blood orange whiskey sour with Angostura bitter drops to represent Plug's plasma. And we don't have Plug in this at all. We're going to have some George Perez. We're going to have some Gil Kane coming up here. We've got lots of amazing artists, George Tuska, but we don't have a drink yet. If you don't know, this series is going to go from horror into a Conan the Barbarian in space type of thing. And our main title, the Man Wolf, will be referred to as the Star God for a while. So that would be a good name for a drink. Just throwing some stuff out there. The Moonstone that turns him into a werewolf is called the Bloodstone and is really actually important in the Marvel Universe and plays quite a bit of roles and teases out a bunch of stories over the years. So maybe you want to call your drink the Bloodstone, put a little bit of, I don't know, what is that stuff? What's the Shirley Temple thing that's all sweet?
Grenadine?
Grenadine. I don't know. I'm not telling you guys how to do your job. I'm just saying, make us a drink, send it in. If we pick your drink and we like it, then you'll get a free Pack Brother, Pack Sister membership. How about that?
Wow. All right. Throwing down.
Yeah. So there you go. I think that's all the stuff we have before we dive in. Are we ready to dive in?
I think we are.
Jacob and I were talking about this. I don't have a bind of this. This is not me reading a library bind project of original issues. So I don't have letters, pages, and all that jazz. Mine is the Man Wolf, the complete collection that came out I think I got it last year, actually. I think I've even posted it in our feed when it showed up. I think it's like a year old, but it's already out of print.
Wow.
So you can find one here and there I think I got it for price, which was, that can't be right, $39.99 for that's 400 pages. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
So it's floating around. You can grab it for that much, actually. I'm sorry. I thought it was like $20. I thought people were just being dicks. No, you can actually still get it, but it's not like easily available. You can also read it digitally like Jacob is doing.
Yep. Everything that we're going to be covering is on Marvel Unlimited. So if you already have a subscription, you are set.
Cool. All right. So we're going to dive into not John's first appearance, obviously. That's way far back in 1963, too. When was the first issue of Spider-Man? 3,
I think.
We are jumping forward to 1973, September. Amazing Spider-Man number 124. This features a pretty iconic cover. This was also used for the cover of my Power Records set. So again, I've listened to this record a billion times, staring at this art. So this is ingrained in my brain. It is drawn and inked by the great John Romita Sr., and it features the inside of J. Jonah Jameson's. Do you say Jameson or Jameson?
We need to figure this shit out right away.
So I feel like I'm in my mid 40s. I feel like until I was like 35, I'd never even heard anybody say Jameson. But then in recent years, I don't know if I'm listening to more like UK stuff or whatever, but it's like, I feel like Jameson is like the official way and Jameson is just kind of the rabble plebeian way of saying it. But I like saying Jameson. What do you say?
What do you call the whiskey?
Jameson. That's
spelled the exact same way, right?
But I mean, it's Jame, Jame, Jameson. I see why people say it.
I see why people say it too, but I don't. I say Jameson.
Good. Okay. That is my default. So okay. So I don't have to wear a fake mustache this whole season. Good. Good.
You don't have to be Guy Incognito.
Okay.
No.
So we're the view is from inside of J. Jonah Jameson's swanky New York City condo loft or whatever. And it's the 70s, so there's some weird, heavy, dour curtains on his window. And his window is being busted in through. In the background, we can see a full moon, and coming into the window in a spray of broken glass is the Moon Wolf. And he is a gray furred covered werewolf. And he has it's not a onesie. What is he? What do you call that?
It's like a He-Man costume, you know.
It's
like
like underoos, like it's sewn together. He's got a green belt, and it's got a sleeveless yellow top and there's piping. There's green piping everywhere, and yellow shorts that are torn off because of the transformation. So it's kind of like a spacesuit that's been torn up through a transformation. So he's roaring in, rawr! And in the apartment, in the foreground, is Spider-Man clinging to Jonah's wall, saying, "Jameson, that thing, what is it?" And in the foreground is J. Jonah Jameson cowering on the ground, looking away like a child, saying, "It's my son." And it says the mark of the man-wolf. Some things I love about this. I love the Spider-Man pose. I mean, John Romita Sr. is my all-time favorite Spider-Man artist. Gil Kane's a close second. Ross Andrews up there. But so it's a great depiction of the spider hanging onto the wall of this loft. And then I love that the color palette between the man-wolf and his dad is the exact same, but inverted.
Cool,
so
right?
Jonah is wearing a green suit with a yellow dress shirt and a red tie. And the man-wolf is wearing a yellow jumpsuit with green piping, and his eyes and his mouth are full of red. So it's like this weird inversion, like connecting the two of them already.
Yeah, it's really cool. They don't normally give credits to the colorist on covers, which is too bad. But yeah, this the layout, the colors. It's just such a classic comic book cover layout. Like, it's exciting and it's perfectly balanced. Like, the three figures fit seamlessly together. And that, like you said, I mean, Romita's a fucking master and is definitely, the best Spider-Man artist. Sometimes he's not my favorite, but he's definitely the best.
You're usually right. Yes, and like you're saying, the depiction here, Romita being a complete master, leads your eyes from Spider-Man. They go to the right, you see the Beast. The Spider-Man is asking, "What is it?" and reacting. And then your eyes naturally go to the right. You see what he's reacting to. And then the question is answered on the full, your eyes complete their journey on Jonah. So, I mean, just Romita being a complete boss, as usual. Love it. I love the dynamism of the way Spider-Man's clinging to the wall. I love that porthole illustration of Spider-Man. I've always wanted to get a t-shirt with that porthole. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Okay. And and the glass. I mean, just the fact that there's a motion lines of the Beast reaching through the window, and there's just this rain of shards of glass. Just super excited. I can't wait to get in the book, just based on the cover. Yeah.
I mean, I remember this cover from being very small and reading the Marvel Tales thing. And it's just so arresting. And if I saw this on a stand, it would just jump right out. I'd have to get it.
Did Marvel Tales just reuse the cover and just slap on a new?
Yeah, they just have Marvel Tales as the header, and it's basically the same cover.
I used to buy those here and there, but I'd forgotten that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's dig in.
So let's get right to the opening page. Our story is called The Mark of the Man-Wolf, and the cast of creators are Jerry Conway scripter, Gil Kane penciler, John Romita and Tony Mortellaro inkers, Artie Simek letterer, David Hunt colorist, and Roy Thomas as editor. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're very familiar with Jerry Conway, co-creator of Werewolf by Night. You probably know Gil Kane. He did a couple issues and a bunch of the best covers for Werewolf by Night. And we got Romita a little bit on Werewolf by Night, couple covers.
Faces?
Yeah, some faces, some alterations. I still want that shirt. And but yeah, so he's joined by someone named Tony Mortellaro that there's not a ton of information about him at all.
I'd never seen the name before this.
He has some, so he began working in comic books in the early 50s. He drew horror, romance, and war stories, mostly for Stanley Morse Publishing. It was also known as Stanmore, real bottom of the barrel publisher. I think all the Stanmore stuff ended up going to Israel Waldman and IW. So that's where he would write stories for like Battle Cry, Weird Mysteries, Weird Tales of the Future. Like, but yeah, pretty forgettable stuff for the most part. He worked for Marvel during the Atlas era, doing art on the Mystery War and Western titles in like the 50s. And he left the industry for a while. And in the 70s, he came back and inked some Captain America, Spider-Man. But he mainly did backgrounds for John Romita, which will come up in a minute. And he left Marvel in the late 70s, got a job at the post office, and died a few years later. And most of this biographical stuff comes from interviews with John Romita. And so he had some things to say about Tony Mortallaro. This is from an interview he gave to Jim Amash in 2006. And he said, Tony was a character. He was very strong-willed and a little bit loud. He was a nice guy, except when he had a few drinks in him, and then you didn't want him around. He was garrulous, and he was certainly not a guy to drive in a car with.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Yeah, he goes on. So,
What does that mean?
I know exactly.
He's a terrible driver?
He's a terrible driver. He talks too much. Don't get him drunk.
Remind me what garrulous means. Is that jovial and loud, or is that?
I think it means you talk a lot, if I'm
Okay.
correct. But yeah, so in this interview, Romita goes on to basically shit talk him for like a page or so. And he adds one last thing at the end that I loved. So I just got to quote him from this interview. He said, Marvel was doing the vouchers for reprint money. They called me up once and asked, is Tony Mortallaro alive? When I told him he's not, they wanted to know where his family was. I asked them why, and they said, well, he helped you ink the stories. I told them, wait a second, he doesn't deserve it. If he was alive, I'd tell him the same thing. He worked for me. He didn't work for Marvel. I paid him off the books. I paid him cash. So basically, Romita was like, fuck Tony Mortallaro, fuck his family. You make that check out to me, Jazzy John Romita.
So John just said, I paid him cash at the time. That is the end of our deal. Send me the check.
Yeah,
Wow.
he did. I know. Well, okay, you know me, and people who listen to this know me. I love comic creators talking shit about each other.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it, but it's like my Real Housewives. It's like my TMZ. It's like it amuses me to no end. And so when I found that, I really liked it. John Romita, great guy, but yeah, he tells it like it is sometimes.
Yeah.
And that was one of those instances. I think the other thing he mentioned is that sometimes he said that Tony would fit his name into the backgrounds.
Secretively?
Yeah, secretively would do like half of his name on one sign, and then like on the next page on another sign do the rest of his name. I looked in here, I didn't see a ton, but yeah, maybe we'll watch for that if we see another issue with him doing backgrounds.
Yeah, I needed a heads up for that one.
Yeah.
But it's not like a giant schlong like in The Little Mermaid, or it's
Nope.
not, or Jew and Star of David like in Immortal Hulk.
Oh God, so fucking terrible. Doesn't that suck that like a perfect book has something like that that's just going to be a black mark asterisk?
It's so weird. I was reading that collection when that somehow came up again, like in the Twitter feed, just like 2 weeks ago. And I was actually on that page when I stopped and was going through Twitter, and somebody said, yeah, but Bennett or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, what issue was that? I was like, that's the one I'm on, 43 or whatever. And then I was like, what panel was it? And I was like, oh, I have the corrected one in the digital.
Oh yeah.
I had
Okay.
to look it up on Google Images to see what he did.
Yeah. No, it's not great.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, back to this opening page.
Just in case people don't know, sorry, we believe the Holocaust happened. So just to clear any, like, we are Holocaust believers.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you put that out there. I'm sure people were confused. So the interesting thing about this page, aside from it being really, really awesome, like it's a full page illustration of Spider-Man swinging towards the newsstand to steal a paper. He steals a bit in this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Does some property damage. Like he's a little unhinged for good reason.
Yes.
Yeah, for very good reason, because the narration reads, the night of the following week, it's been almost 10 days since Gwen Stacy and Norman Osborn died, but it seems the reactions haven't yet quieted down. Some people still remember that fateful eve, and not the least of them is Spider-Man. So yeah, it's such a cool full page spread. There's rain coming down. We get the really awesome illustration of the guy that owns the newsstand that Spider-Man is stealing from, is taking food from his kids' mouths. But I just got to come right out and say, so, I mean, the first thing I noticed on here is in the magazines.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, there's a magazine that just says art, or maybe it's a newspaper. I don't know, but it just says art. And then on the next page, on the next panel next to that is just a naked lady. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And on the newsstand, right in front of the newsagent's cigarette, there's another issue of the same.
Yeah.
And she's also nude.
Yes.
I've never been to New York City. Do newsstands sell adult magazines? I imagine they would.
I'm assuming they do, yes.
And the fact that there's a garbage can in the foreground in front of this maybe is a little editorial note from Gil Kane. Like, I think pornography is garbage.
I would not think Gilgain would think that. Hearing stories of what he would draw on some of his earlier work, I think that he is a sex positive comic creator.
Good for him.
I don't want to speak for the guy, but I've heard some stories, so you know.
No, I did the same thing. Like on the, we talked about the cover, how your eye moves. I came down diagonally from left to right and went from Spider-Man to the newspaper he's stealing, to the newsagent, to the breasts.
Yeah. So it's a little risque for a code-approved comic, but it's the swinging 70s.
Yeah. I love this too. I love all the layers of depth in here. The stormy skies in the upper left-hand corner, and then it goes down to a billboard that kind of looks like Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And then Spider-Man and again, Kane, master. And I wanted the same thing when he was stealing this newspaper, because like we talked before about, GCD, they track everything, right? Like I guarantee you that if you go to the GCD listing for this issue, it's going to note that the web shooters make an appearance in here because they note all that stuff. So I was like, I wonder if anybody has noted every time Spider-Man has stolen a newspaper. Is this as a trope?
Yeah.
And they got to the point where like in the 90s cartoon or whatever, like they would show like, just a newspaper going thwip and going up and then a quarter coming down on a web, like, to make it. Sometimes he leaves a quarter. Not always.
No, definitely not always.
He's in college, right?
Yeah, he's in college. He's gonna steal another newspaper coming up.
Yeah, and he's upset because his best friend's dad turned out to be a supervillain who tried to kill him and did kill his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So he's a bit of a zoo. It's been 10 days?
It's been 10 days.
Yeah, and people are still talking about it.
Yeah.
That tripped me out because I was like, it's 2021 and people still be talking about that now, and like we forget, we're so overloaded with information.
Yeah.
That, there'll be a major governmental scandal and people won't be talking about it 7 days later.
Yeah.
Let alone prosecuting anyone or holding anyone to account. I'm not supposed to talk about politics.
You've been warned.
Great splash page. And I love that the Man-Wolf, the lettering on Man-Wolf for the title is furry.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, man. And that trash can, I love that there's a touch of color in some of the trash. It looks like somebody just wrinkled up Miracle Man and threw him in there.
Yeah, it's a really weird coloring choice. I thought that too. Really strange. It looks like some kind of rag that was used to tie-dye Grateful Dead shirts or something and then was just tossed aside.
Well, it's obviously not Miracle Man by Tom King, because that would not go in the garbage.
No, no, that would not.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
So on the next page, we follow Pete. It's a stormy, rainy night, and so this is a really good match for Peter's mood. So he's jumping along with his newspaper thinking, you think the ghouls would let things alone. 2 people dead, isn't that enough for them? Do they have to keep dredging the whole mess up? Again, 10 days.
10 days.
He's already left town and met a werewolf and come back, but 10 days. So he's crouched on a rooftop. He's reading the paper. And he's just thinking, I've got to move on. I've got to get over your death and just move on, Gwen. It's like, dude, 10 days.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. And then he says, you and poor old Norman Osborn. Can you remind me, it's been a while since I read the Green Goblin saga. How long did Peter know? When did Norman reveal who he was and that he knew who Peter was? Was that an extended cat and mouse game that went on for like a year?
I don't know about a year, but it definitely went on for publishing time.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like you said, I haven't reread that Green Goblin saga in a while. I'm due for a reread for sure, but yeah, I'm not sure about that.
So as Pete sits in the rain, he's reading an issue he stole of the Herald. That's not his employer. He works for them occasionally, but and they're sympathetically covering this dust up between Green Goblin, Spider-Man, and the death of Gwen Stacy. And the headline says Spider-Man killer or victim. And Pete's thinking, as he's reading this, or Spider-Man, that at least they're covering this fairly. And he also stole an issue of the Daily Bugle. So he's pivoting over to that, and he's saying, but not the Daily Bugle, because that headline says Spider-Man murders eminent businessman, which of course will be Jonah's take on that. And, Pete's lamenting that, saying, good old dependable J. Jonah Jameson, a real pal. And then we cut to that very same character, and he's talking to, what's Robbie's real first name? John, something Robbie Robertson. Robbie's a nickname, right? He just calls, yeah. Sorry, I'm totally blanking out. Joe. Yeah. Joe Robertson. So, yes. So Jameson's talking to Robbie, and he's saying, what is this? Be kind to criminals day? And he's kind of like saying, they just want to grill Spider-Man for this death. And Robbie has ethics and, values and stuff like that. So he's saying, we can't just condemn him publicly. We have to have proof, if he turns out he's innocent, and Jonah can't believe he could be innocent. He's saying, maybe you don't understand. Norman Osborn was an associate of mine, a friend, if you want to get maudlin, and he's been murdered. And that wall-crawling menace is responsible. I know it. All while chomping on a cigar. So if you're not familiar with Spider-Man, these are hitting some immediate tropes. Like, this was like a sinking into a warm bath after a rugby match for me. Like, comics familiarity.
Robbie. Lots of familiar stuff here.
But art-wise, nothing super noteworthy for me, but I did remark on reading this a couple times too, like Kane's angle choices, his compositions are just amazing throughout this thing. This page is solid, but it's a little busy. The first couple pages where he's landing on a skyscraper roof and sitting down and reading the two headlines and stuff. Nothing super noteworthy, but just solid work from a master.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know Romita's inking this, and I noticed this through the whole issue. But Kane is he's so in the middle between Romita and Ditko. Mm-hmm. Like he's a little too weird. Like Romita is obviously a master and is amazing, but everyone looks so nice. Everything, like there's not that Ditko weirdness.
Yeah.
And I think Gil Kane is a perfect middle between those two.
Yeah, I'll admit everyone's pretty in Romita's world.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a valid criticism. I will accept that.
Yeah. All right. So on the next page, I like that Jonah says that he can't hire someone to bring Spider-Man in. And I like we have a little Roy Thomas editorial aside at the bottom. He was like, he tried Luke Cage last ish. like he's already tried this. And so what he wants to do, he's going to make the public demand for his capture. And so, him and Robbie are fighting about stuff, which again is one of the best Spider-Man tropes ever. Robbie's like, I'm only your city editor, Jonah, but I think you're making a grave mistake. And so they're doing their normal back and forth. And then in walks John Jameson to introduce his fiancée, Christine Saunders. So this is the first time we see him. And even just in that first panel, we see the necklace. We see the ruby right there, which is so cool. And I like that
on a hemp rope.
It's on a hemp rope. Yeah. It smells like Nag Champa. It's on a hemp rope. And it's cool ruby. And so Jonah's like, come in, John, you're not disturbing us. We were finished, weren't we, Robbie? Robbie's like, if you say so, Jonah, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. I feel like that's a thing that when people are introduced to John, they're always kind of in shock.
Yeah.
Like, A, they don't know that Jonah had a kid, and they don't know that Jonah actually slept with someone to make a child. So they're always kind of shocked. Like, what? This is your kid?
Yeah, I was shocked that he never met him. But then I was thinking, well, I had to look it up. He was introduced in Spider-Man 51. So he hadn't really had a big story since then.
No. He had been put on ice for a while.
Yeah.
And so Jonah introduces him, says, John's just retired from astronautics. He was one of the last men to make a moonwalk. Son, this is Joe Robertson, my city editor. So they meet each other. And he says, same here, Mr. Robertson. Dad said a lot about you. And Robbie's kind of smiling. He's like, nothing good, I hope, Jonah. Which pisses him off. He's like, don't press your luck, Robertson. And don't put in for overtime either. So yeah, they go right back to their bickering on that last panel. And I really like Jonah's expressions throughout this entire issue. Mm-hmm. Like, again, it just reminded me, it gives me more Ditko vibes than Romita vibes, even though it's Romita fucking inking it. But I don't know why. It's just, this is maybe Romita inking Gil Kane is my sweet spot.
So you're saying Romita inked this. So that dude that you just did the bio of, he didn't do anything?
He did the backgrounds.
Oh, the backgrounds.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, but I mean, he may have done other inking too.
Okay.
Most of the character inking is probably, but I'd be really curious to see exactly how detailed Gil Kane's penciling was, because sometimes it's not at all. But in this, it's so not. I mean, it doesn't look enough like Romita to seem that Gil just did some very basic stuff and was then like, Romita and Tony will finish it. But yeah, it seems like Romita's doing the majority of the main inking, and Tony Mortallero is going to do more of the backgrounds, more of the busy work.
Right. Okay. I get you now. So yeah, and John looks nothing like we've ever seen him before. I mean, I wasn't joking when I said I think in '63 he had a flat top. Of course, everyone who wasn't in a band had a flat top in the early '60s. But I mean, he looks very Chad alpha male in this. Like, he looks like he's got a football under his arm at all times. He's like all-American handsome boy, right?
Yeah, but 1973 all-American handsome boy. So there's like 2 or 3 buttons undone on his shirt.
And that's why we can see the necklace.
That's why we can see that, yeah.
And so this necklace is not like a stone fixed in a setting. This is actually just a stone with a hole drilled through it. And then, like we said, a green hemp. Like, it's tight. It's not like hanging loose. It's tight around like a choker around his neck. So our eye is immediately drawn to this. And Kane is doing this on purpose. And yeah, he has a big butterfly collar with really obnoxious stitching around it. So it's definitely 73.
Yeah, for sure.
So Jonah's going to take his son out for dinner or something like that. And he's like, I'll call my chauffeur. What's this about a fiance? And he's grabbing his coat and they're leaving. And then John starts kind of vibrating and shaking, and he gets beads of sweat on his forehead and kind of doubles over. And he's like, would you excuse me a moment, Dad? And then we see the red stone glowing around his neck as he's sweating and kind of straining to keep his shit together. And Jonah notices and says, John, are you all right, son? You're as white as a sheet and you're trembling. He's like, I'm sorry, Dad. I got a touch of the flu. He's like, the flu? You better take better care of yourself, son. And he's like, yeah, sorry, Dad. Ask Christine. I've been under a strain, which is a good cover.
That is a good cover.
And then Christine comes in. We meet her. She looks a lot like Gwen Stacy herself. She's blonde with a black miniskirt and a red top, and she's got a kicky little black clutch and some red high heels. Cute little gal. And I don't remember her at all for some reason. I don't know if okay. So immediately Jonah moves into like, well, you're not taking very good care of my son, and she's like, hey, he's right. I haven't, you haven't been behaving yourself lately, and he's like, oh, well, I like her now because she's like going to do whatever I want her to do. So Jonah immediately likes her because she's pliable.
Yes.
And then we cut back to Spidey swinging through the streets, and he's kind of as if you haven't if you haven't picked it up yet, he's in this Hamlet mode, which is, in the 70s, he kind of had he was either Hamlet or Ted Lasso. Like he kind of he's almost bipolar, but this is obviously he's mourning the death of his girlfriend, his love. So he's very Hamlet in this issue and a lot of angst.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I mean, I know lots of people have said it, but I think the angst is really well done in this issue.
It is. And
it has to be, I mean, a 20-year-old kid is writing this issue. So it's not a 50-year-old man being like, what does a angst-ridden 19-year-old do? It's like Conway was there.
Yeah. And so the kids talking to each other in this one felt a lot more natural.
Yeah. So, and it's so cool. I mean, obviously this is the first time that someone so young has written Spider-Man. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that tracks really well because of Conway's age and experience. So yeah, the next page, Peter changes back into a civvies, heads off to class. He's, he's in full Hamlet mode. He's walking. He's thinking about how he doesn't want any sympathy. But then he sits in class getting paranoid that everyone's watching him, thinking, oh, that's the guy whose girlfriend was killed. So he's kind of going back and forth. He's a kid. He's been through a traumatic event. I really love the panel on the bottom left. The way that Gil Kane draws Peter slouching in his chair is so perfectly expressive. Like you could take away all the words, you could take away all the context for this issue and just look at that panel and be like, oh, that's a forlorn kid. Yeah. Like just the body language and everything. And it's just like, I think Kane does that so well, just as well as Ditko did.
And I don't want to get over analytical about that panel. I love it as well. The fact that Pete's in the back of the classroom next to the window, to me, just kind of like ties in, like he could split at any time. He's not fully there. And he just came in from outside. And that's really where he is in every aspect of his life. He's out in the city. He's out being Spider-Man. He's out doing whatever, like all of his concerns and everything else. The class is the last place where he is. So he's like hovering near the window because that's really where he is anchored to.
Yeah. And the student that we see in the foreground is, furiously taking notes. And yeah, Peter's just in full Rebel Without a Cause, just sitting in the back with his jacket slouching down.
And the extreme close-up of those students in the foreground too is super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Perspective's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And the last panel is just, him saying that he sees everyone looking at him thinking, that's Pete Parker. They're thinking, isn't he the guy whose girlfriend was killed? Yeah, that's me. That's Peter Parker. And so around him are all these different faces. So he's it's showing his paranoia and just him not having an easy time here.
No, he's not. And in that first panel, he's saying, I should drop in on my classes. It's been a while since I went to class. I feel like reading Spider-Man comics as a kid, like embedded this massive paranoia or whatever about like anxiety about attendance. Like into my 30s, I would have dreams where I had enrolled in some, medieval folk dancing class, went the first day, got the syllabus and never went back. And it's finals week. Yeah. And I need to make up 3 months worth of work in one day, or, what I mean? Like I have anxiety dreams about Pete's life. And I think it's because of him. I swear to God, he never fucking went to class and he was always trying to finagle like another day to do a project or whatever. Like it stresses me out. It stressed me out reading it. And I'm 46. I'm like, dude, you have to go to class. I get it. Yeah. But like, yeah. And all the students looking at him like, who is this a new kid?
He's like, never been to class. Yeah. They're just like, who is this kid? Oh, his girlfriend died. I think he's in this class. I don't know. Yeah. No, so he's right. I mean, people are looking at him being like, who the fuck is this? And, oh, it's that guy that's girlfriend just was killed.
And that last panel of all the students in Pete's mind looking at him is very Romita.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Very like 68 Spider-Man.
Well, Romita did that a lot, right? He would have like the floating heads around to demonstrate whatever would happen. Yeah, very, very Romita.
And Peter's face in that last panel was gold. That expression and the angle that he's looking up. Kane, man.
Kane. It's all Kane in this. Like these faces. I know Romita's inking, but no one looks as pretty as they do when Romita inks his own work.
Right. So on the next page, Pete's sitting there and he's trying to take some notes, but he's obviously mentally vacant. And then he's glowering and he looks at a girl next to him. And he's like, but she doesn't even know me, but she's probably thinking, oh, that's poor Peter Parker, his girl and his roommate's father, both in the same day. He's like, you don't know, sister. You just don't know. And he snaps his mechanical pencil. And of course, he's got spider strength. So, like, if he is not focusing, he probably just snapped a pen. I don't know what's going on. But great layout here. And then he gets this really, he's looking at his broken pen or pencil. And he just starts sweating and he just looks completely angst-ridden. And he says, moments when the best of us may bend just a little, and he snaps his pen. And that 4-panel sequence there of him sitting and trying to take notes and realizing he is completely worthless in this class, that close-up with the green explosion behind the background is amazing.
It is.
Small moments blown up to show the bigger significance of them by Kane is awesome. And Pete realizes when he snaps that pencil, fuck it, this is a waste of my time. I have to get out of here. And he bolts out, and MJ watches him as she goes. And he's like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to go crazy permanently. And he's storming out, and MJ runs out after him. And she's like, hey, don't rush off. MJ wants to have a word with you. And he's like, not now. I'm a little tense. She's like, yes. Yeah, so who isn't, You've got a lot to be tense about, but you don't get to be a hermit. And he's like, yeah, well, right now, it's all too close to me, and I've got to pull my head around and adjust if I can. And there's this really cool panel where he's staring directly at the viewer, which is MJ for these purposes, and half of his face is lit up almost like by a neon sign, like in a noir film or something like that. It's all bathed in gold and red, and the other half is just like kind of grayish, like in shadow. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a cool effect.
Yeah, his simmering rage in this, and I've always loved the Romita / Kane that hairstyle that Pete has, that kind of brushed back. It's not a pompadour, but it's back and with that little spit curl.
Yeah, he has a little spit curl cowlick that just like comes down in the front. Yeah, it's classic. It's my favorite Peter hairstyle.
It's my favorite Peter depiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
This era.
So yeah, the next page kind of just continues. Mary Jane's trying to help, and Pete's not having it. He's like, what's the difference to you, Mary Jane? You're Harry Osborn's girl, not mine. And then Flash shows up. He's like, hey, Parker, where's your roommate these days? Word's out Harry crawled into a hole and pulled it in after him. It's none of my business, of course, but yeah. And then Pete just, unloads on him. He's like, it's none of your business. You and all the rest of them clowns seem to think we're freaks because we want a little quiet in our lives. He's like, bug off, both of you. I've had it up to here. And then he just, he takes off, and Flash is just like, sorry, I asked. Bug off made me laugh. Because we know what he really said.
Right. Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, because it's 73, the dialogue, and it's a Marvel comic, obviously the dialogue's, it's a little corny, but I think that the college students talking to each other, the way that Conway writes it, really works.
Yeah. And the dynamics in the scripting here are great. Like, MJ is obviously concerned about Pete. She grabs him and he's like, what difference is it to you, Mary Jane? You're Harry Osborn's girl, not mine. Like, Jerry just getting that little like, ugh, I know you care. Yeah. This unspoken thing. And he's just like, he has to just stick the knife in her because he wants to hurt everyone because he's hurting so bad. Like, that's fucking Conway, dude.
Yeah, no, he's so great. And when Conway's good, he's amazing.
And as a kid, I always loved seeing when Pete would lash out at Flash Thompson. Obviously, he has the power to take this dude apart, and he keeps it all buttoned down. But sometimes that seething stuff just comes out.
The volcanic anger that comes out of Peter is always so cathartic. You feel it with him. It's always like, like I love the wisecracking, Spidey, but it's volcanic anger Pete that I I relate to a little bit more.
Yeah, I need to get that action figure.
Volcanic anger Peter. All right, and so in the bottom 3 panels. Yeah, in this page, so we switch our view, and the narration reads, later the same evening in a brownstone overlooking the Hudson River, a door opens, releasing a sliver of yellow light and the stumbling form of a young man. And so we see a man come out. His face is, obscured, but obviously it's John Jameson. And he's saying, nothing I can do. It's happening again. my special outfit doesn't stop it like it's supposed to. I don't know why that made me laugh so much. It's like, my special outfit isn't working. Then he says in the last panel, he says, I'm changing. And we kind of hear a at the bottom. So, I mean, with the podcast that we are, we know what's happening.
What is happening?
There's a transformation.
Oh, that's what that means. Okay, good. Yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah, that art and that sequence above, can't say enough good stuff about the way Peter's depicted and Mary Jane. And I love that when he really yells "bug off," there's that yellow background, which we talked about before. In lesser artists, we would consider to be a shortcut, but in this time, it's really, I think, letting the backgrounds fade out because they're not important, right? It's the same way the human mind operates. Like the things in a memory that aren't important fade away. So the thing that's important here is Pete's volcanic rage.
Yes.
And I love that sliver panel to the right of that when he's marching off, like this weird, like we're up at a fire escape looking down at them. What is that angle, dude?
I know, it's weird. Yeah, it's so cool, though. Yeah, I tried to track. I mean, I'm going to mention it later on, but it seemed like Gil Kane was just doing his best to bring in like crime comic style, romance style, like horror style. Like there's specific pages that I've marked later on to where I'm just like, oh, this could be a fucking page out of Menace. Like this could be a page out of My Love. Like it's just, he can do anything, and he's doing everything in this issue.
This issue, I know I was tripping out on how good his layouts were and how many influences he's pulling in. Like that upper right-hand panel when he and MJ are first talking after he kind of said, what do you care? You're Harry's girlfriend. The next panel, it's like you got down on your stomach on the street and are looking up as Flash comes out of the class building. Like worm's eye view, like just, you didn't need to do that. That could have just been a pits up medium shot showing Flash in the background, but Kane doesn't settle for that.
No, he doesn't. And that's why he's a genius.
Yeah. Love it. So the next page is great because we get to see Manwolf for the first time outside of the cover. So we get this great 3-panel shot up here on the top row, and John's face is completely in silhouette as he's changing. It says, for several seconds, muscles bulge across the young man's back. Shoulders writhe with the agony of inner reshaping. And there's a growl that goes across the entire 3 panels. The middle panel I love as he's spouting like purplish gray blue fur in the pissing rain. It says, then slowly a new light comes into the eyes of the straining figure as his eyes become red and his irises become yellow. And then he's fully lupine form in the last one. It says, a light in the eyes of a man-wolf. And then the bottom, there's this great shot of him just standing in this dirty street alley with garbage cans and cardboard boxes of shit. And he's kind of like hunched over in this weird, like Kane models him in this weird way, like where he instinctively knows this does not look normal. Like he's like crouching down, like you're bending down to pick something up, but he's like turning away. And it's just like, it's not a way any human would stand. And so it's this post-human animal thing where he's kind of crouching down and shielding himself and hiding his face. And
I think it kind of went with the whole, like a transformation is immensely painful. And it does just look like he's just coming out of feeling the worst pain ever and just kind of starting to straighten up again. But it's fucking awesome.
Like his soul was rent in two by that pain. Yeah. And then another like completely unnatural pose, which maybe Spider-Man could do, him bounding off towards an alleyway, and his physics just don't make sense, but they make sense for a werewolf. And it says, he's casting about as though seeking something or seeking someone. And he climbs up a fire escape, and it's this dramatic rain on the rooftops. And we see him jump from one rooftop to another. It says a snarl escapes its lupine breast, a growl of sheer hatred reserved for the quarry it hunts. Which is interesting. We'll talk about this later because he's on a mission of hatred right now, and it changes later.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to track his consciousness as Man-Wolf as these things go on. And I know it changes as it gets into Creatures on the Loose and stuff like that. But I thought it was really cool. I mean, obviously they would want to differentiate between Werewolf by Night and Man-Wolf. But yeah, the transformations are different. The design is different. Like they're two distinct werewolves. Even though I gotta say, I find it hard to call man wolf a werewolf?
No, we have to legally.
I know we
Okay.
I know we have to, but I consider him more of a wolf man than a werewolf. I don't know. Like werewolf still seems to have more of the magical and, mystical connotations, whereas, like Wolfman, I guess, fits more of the science. But that's okay. We'll call him a werewolf. We'll call him a wolfman, whatever you want's good by me.
So if you're listening to this without seeing this, how would you compare Jack's werewolf to the man wolf, lupine form?
I was trying to think of which werewolf in Werewolf by Night he looks like. If he looks a little bit more like Coker, if he looked a little bit more, I don't know. He almost looks a little more like, now I can't remember his name. One of the cover artists. And I can't remember his name. But there was a couple covers that kind of where people did Jack a little bit differently, and it had a little more like this. I think there's more of a snout.
Yes, definitely. I was
going to say man wolf.
He's more lupine.
Yeah, he's definitely more lupine.
He definitely has a pronounced snout, like a wolf, more than Jack ever did. Yeah, and he has like the big ears that are more kind of wolfish. Honestly, he almost looks more like a cross between Jack's werewolf form and Lissa's were-demon form.
Yes, totally. Yeah, that's a great observation. It's exactly what it is. It looks like a cross between the two.
So he's off to the races.
So yeah, what are you drinking there?
I am having Maker's Mark.
Oh, all right. I'm having Woodford Reserve and a Coors Banquet as a chase.
Nice. Woodford's good.
Yeah.
Wish I had Woodford. So no drinks yet.
I don't know.
We got one coming up.
Do we have one coming up?
We do.
Okay. I mean, I've been sneaking them this whole time. I'm not going to lie, as you have too. But yeah. Like with you, we can hear the shaking ice, which is nice. So next page, this is a great looking page. And again, the dynamism of Man-Wolf leaping from rooftop to rooftop is so cool, especially that top part where he's jumping out of the panel. And Kane does that a couple different times in this, but he doesn't do it too much. But when he does it, it's so effective.
Yeah. And that's another, and that pose is another one of those things where it's like McFarlane-y like level of like his hand is reaching down lower than his feet are when his legs are, tucked in. It's just, love the physicality.
Yeah, it's so cool. And so, we kind of get a glimpse into his state of mind in the narration. So, like last page said, in that quarry is man. The beast can scent it now. And then it says, ahead, the man-wolf thinks. The one I hunt is ahead. Then underneath it says, the thought is not so coherent, but the meaning is the same. So at this point, he seems to be similar to Jack in the beginning, and that he has a goal that he's driving towards, but not necessarily the ability to reason it out totally. Like he has a quarry, he needs to go make a kill, he has a scent that he's picked up, and so he's definitely more animal than man at this point. And so, we have another great panel of him leaping across these buildings and the moon in the background. And then that final panel, he crashes through the window into Jonah's swinging apartment with the great drapes that we saw on the cover.
Yeah. And Jonah, of course, has a copy of the Daily Bugle framed on his wall. Did you notice that little detail?
Yeah, I did notice that. When I first looked at that, I'm like, oh, is he at the office? I'm like, no, this is his home.
That's what I thought too.
This is his home. And he has a framed paper.
And I love that the beast is following the spoor of man's passing. He's hunting his quarry, right? So he's got a sniff up in his snooter. And he's going along, and it's like, oh, it's his dad?
Yeah.
So he was following the smell of faded Old Spice and rancid coffee breath and cigar
and 20-cent cigars or whatever.
The cheapest big brownie.
Yeah, just the cheapest cigars you can get. Yeah, and he smokes them constantly. He smokes them in the shower. Yeah.
Oh, Christ. So That panel you mentioned where he's leaping into across the buildings, where we're on like the street level, looking straight up in the moon. That's great.
Mhm. Yeah, it's awesome.
Great
Really
stuff.
reminded me of some of those panels of Jack and Coker like
Mhm.
leaping to where it's kind of, and this is kind of in silhouette, but it's colored red too, which is so cool. It really works against the kind of light blue moon that the
Yeah.
colorist did. Yeah, the colors are great in this issue.
Who did them?
Was it Dave Hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the next page, we get one long vertical panel here of the beast coming into the curtains and the blinds, and Jonah in the foreground kind of like reeling back and just clutching the wall, shocked, saying, "Who are you? And what's the meaning of this? You realize who I am?" And that kind of whole thing is like, I'm not the man who's amused by some sort of infantile joke. I demand an explanation for this ridiculous costume. I'm warning you. I'm warning you. And then we get two smaller panels on the right-hand side. It says, "It is then, of course, that Jameson realizes the creature before him is not wearing a costume. And it is then, naturally, that J. Jonah Jameson becomes afraid." And then in the last panel of this page, he's diving for the phone, and the werewolf is right behind him, jumping fully like horizontal, going, "Rawr!" and grabbing for his head. And he says, "Good Lord in heaven, no." It's all small and like choked. So he thought that was just a dude in a costume, which
Oh, yes.
in season 1, if somebody thought that was a werewolf costume, we would drink.
Oh, we're drinking.
My shot is also Maker's Mark, so it's a little boring tonight. But yeah, nothing much here. I just think that first really big panel that takes up half the page is great. As the werewolf stalks in, this is essentially, the setup for the cover layout, that same type of thing. But yeah, his huge gaping maw, which when you have that more lupine canine head like that, you can get a bigger growl, bigger bite, bigger whatever going on. So he definitely looks more animal to me.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially the early Plug, Jack Russell looked more universal Wolfman than an actual lupine jaw. But yeah, super cool page. And
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
As a kid growing up, I always thought that Jonah's hair looked like a cigar ash. I could never tell. Is that intentional, or is that just like, is it supposed to look like a cigar ash?
Well, I'm never going to see it as anything else now that you pointed it out. Okay. I never thought that, but yeah, it totally looks like cigar ash. Even though, I have reached the point in my life to where I'm 44 years old and I have completely gray temples now.
Like Reed Richards.
Yeah, like Reed Richards, but I would love it to be like Reed Richards, but it's more like Jonah. It's
actually, you're more of a Doctor Strange. I
appreciate that.
More of a mystic than
you're my friend, and you're being a really good friend right now. So I thank you. Mm-hmm. I am like Doctor Strange. You are totally right. So the next page, such an awesome first panel. So it switches, and it totally switches focus back to a newspaper box, and the first narration says, "Marvel Time Paradox."
TM. Needs a TM.
It does need a TM. TM Roy Thomas. And it says, Marvel Time Paradox, in which we travel back several minutes and across several blocks to a newspaper vendor on a rain-swept avenue where, and so we see this Daily Bugle box, and then a fist that just smashes it open and says, "That does it. This time Jameson's gone too far." And we see that it's Peter saying, "The Spider-Man Menace," he's reading the paper, "The Spider-Man Menace, a new series by J. Jonah Jameson." And he's like, "Right, JJJ, why wait for nasty police reports when you can make your own facts, and who cares if they're true?" So he just goes crazy. So he's already punched this box, stolen his second paper. And then aside from just stealing that second paper, he starts ripping all the other papers from the box out.
I don't know if I realized that till just now. I didn't.
And just throwing them everywhere.
Yeah, he's just pulling all the papers out and throwing them into the stormy night.
Yeah, and he's doing this as he's just like yelling about Jonah and saying like, "Innocent till proven guilty. Remember that, Jameson? That's supposed to be our code." And then the next panel is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've never seen Peter look more angry. He looks psychotic.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just like, that's supposed to be the way we live. Why won't you let it lie, Jameson? Why won't you leave me alone? Everywhere I turn, I see you and I see Gwen, and you're both accusing me. So he's completely lost his shit at this point. Like, this is his breaking point, which, you know, he did just smash open a newspaper box with his fists. So he does this. He throws down the papers and says, I've had it, Jameson. You want me guilty? You want a madman? You've got it. So he jumps up on this roof, says, I'll show you a menace, Jameson. I'll show you a threat to public safety. He's like, you better just hope your insurance is paid up, buddy, because mister, you're going to need it. So he's going to kill Jonah.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
That is his plan.
Yeah, that's his plan. And it's
I don't
his
think
plan
he's thought it through and expressed that to himself, but that's clearly what's happening.
No, that's his plan for like 2 pages. Like, it's just like, nope, I'm going to fucking kill this guy.
I love that when he's reading through the paper and just like ranting, he's saying you can make your own facts and who cares if they're true. It's like, yeah, we call them alternative facts. We're there now.
Yeah, we are there now.
He broke a box here. So first he stole some papers. Now he's smashing boxes and just throwing out the entire, what was a nickel each? What's a paper cost in 1973?
I'm assuming a nickel.
Just put it on the tab, I guess. Yeah. Charge it to the Underhills.
Yep.
That panel, like you're saying, where he snaps and he's holding the paper, like clenching his fists and just screaming, like he looks like the fucking Hangman. I mean, I know it's because Gil Kane drew him, but it's like he looks as mad as the Hangman does.
Oh, he is.
Which is understandable, right? Because he has this paradoxic. He keeps saying, "I've got to get over Gwendy. I've got to move on."
Yeah,
and he's not grieving, and so he's tamping it down. Again, I get all this. I was raised Catholic. Yeah. Like, don't deal with it. Don't express yourself. Just choke it up. Just say yes, smile, nod, and then he keeps bubbling and lashing out and bubbling over. And this is the biggest bubble over we've seen though since in a while. I mean. Like you're saying, he's going to Jonah's apartment, and I don't think he's splitting hairs. He's planning on dismembering him, if not just, beating him, slashing him within an inch of his life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so cool. I mean, it's just, it's a really cool and fairly accurate way to show someone grieving 10 days after a really tragic, horrific, worst thing that's ever going to happen to him thing.
Right.
It seems very accurate. It seems very real, and it really just draws you in.
Stages of grief, right? I mean, it
is stages of grief for sure.
He's transitioning to the anger.
Yeah.
So he has climbed up a building, and now he's switching into a Spider-Man gear. He's putting his web shooters on, and he's still ranting, saying, I've tried my best, since that spider bit me, JJJ, but you don't care. You won't see it. He's snapped. I mean, he's basically, he's lost his mind. And we get some nice close-ups of the way his web shooters work. And he's saying, maybe after you get a taste of what my webbing can really do, you leave me alone. And that's why I was like, wait, what? Like, your big plan to kill your enemy is to web him a bunch?
No.
I guess you could web his mouth shut and smother him.
See, I would think that he would open his mouth and shoot the webs directly into his lungs.
Okay, that would do it.
Smothering him from the inside.
Early COVID.
That's where my brain goes. So we get these great close-ups of his gear and how his his cartridges of web fluid work and his shooters, and he's going. And then we cut to Pete going to Jameson's apartment, and the narration says, "There's a strange thing about anger. In some people, it can burn for hours, but in others, it lasts only a minute or two and is soon replaced by a smoldering bitterness. That's the way it is with Spider-Man sometimes." It's like, it's like a kid having a tantrum. Like, he just kind of tired himself out. Yeah, but can you not 100% relate to anger being replaced by smoldering bitterness? That's my entire state of mind all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty much my daily mode of being.
Just smoldering bitterness.
Yeah. I walk through a store, people aren't wearing a mask. I have this whole thing I'm going to say to them and go and confront them. And then I downshift down to second gear and just like, what was that? Not good. Have a good day. Happy New Year, sir.
Yeah, I actually saw that on your face when we went and saw Spider-Man last week, and people wouldn't stop talking during it. I just watched your face just like change and just go through the whole thing.
I was going to go get the manager. I am fully
really?
throw a person out. Yes, I am a member of the Hollywood Theater, as you know, and they say there, like, don't, like, seriously, we're an independent theater of film lovers. Do not take your fucking phone out during the movie. You will be asked to leave. Yeah. And I've seen people do it. And I watched a whole movie, some dude checking his phone literally every 5 minutes. And I finally went up to him. I should have just gone and got staff because I was so mad. Like, I got increasingly, I just went through the Pete stages, but through a 2-hour film. And finally just went to him and just hissed and said, will you put your fucking phone away? And he turned and looked at me like just shocked, like, what? And I said, put your fucking phone away.
Yeah.
Stop checking your phone. He's like, just like a little smirk and like, okay. And put it away. And he kept turning around staring at me the last 20 minutes of the film. And then when the movie finished, like the lights came up, he turned around and looked at me and was like, yeah, motherfucker, that was fucking me. Like nodding my head, like, yep.
Yeah.
I'm still fucking here. I'm not embarrassed. Yeah. Like, what do you want to do? And he got up and just like sneered and left. And I was like, I'm full of repressed rage.
Smoldering bitterness.
One person someday is going to get the Matt Howell snap. And it's going to be that thing where you're trying to pull me off. And it's just, like fucking like just Matt, he has no head anymore. You stop punching. You're just punching the cement now. It's just jelly.
It's just
see red. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Luckily, Pete has cooled off. He's not sure what he's going to do, but he's still pissed off. Yes. But he's not murderously angry. And it says, luckily for J. Jonah Jameson, this is one of those times. We get a note from Roy saying, end of Marvel time paradox. We've come full circle back to the scene we left a page and a half ago. And Pete is standing on the side of Jonah's building, looking down at the man wolf jumping through that window. So we're back to where we were. He says, now that's a kick in the head. Either Jameson's taken to keeping pets, or I just saw a werewolf. And he dives into the window. Wait.
Yeah, and this is a cool page where we have just about every angle you could possibly get of Spider-Man going from building to building. We have every single angle.
Yep.
It's so awesome. And it goes into the next page where it's Spidey instantly tackling the man-wolf, like saving Jonah, whose hand is reaching out towards us in like a really cool, like almost 3D effect. Like it's so cool. Like people do that all the time where stuff bleeds outside of the panels. But this is just done so well. It almost looks 3D. It's just done. It's so cool. So Spider-Man is all jokes on this page. Every single thing that's coming out of his mouth is him just yucking it up. And didn't we talk about this in a further episode where you were saying like a later Spider-Man story that you were telling me about was that Peter kind of explains that he tells so many jokes because he's just fucking terrified?
Mm-hmm. I think I forgot what story that was in.
That wasn't an Untold Tales, was it? I'm
not sure if it was Untold Tales or if it was a completely different thing. But yeah, he was saying that it started because he was basically pissing himself when he was like 15.
Yeah.
And so he was just trying to distract himself by bigging himself up.
Yeah. But in this, I mean, this is a stand-up routine he's doing, which he even, makes mention to. He's just like, I just saved your life. And if you think that joke's in bad taste, what do you hear the rest of my routine? And then just, goes through the rest of his Type 5 as he's fighting with the man-wolf. And I love the layout of this. And we've seen Kane do this in Werewolf by Night as well, to where you have like 4 horizontal panels that are kind of, some of them are at an angle. And this is a signature Kane kind of thing. And it works so well.
So a Brit mentioned that they misspelled bollocksed when he says, leave it to you, JJJ, to get the facts bollocksed up. So I made a note of that as well and said, bollocksed, is that some kind of weird Americanization of bollocks, like never mind the bollocks? It's not. I looked this up.
Okay.
Completely different word. Its first mention is from like the mid to late 1700s. And it actually means it's a verb that's broader. And the American definition is to ball or ball up, to clog or tangle, to bring into a state of entanglement, confusion, or difficulty. So it's actually from in the earliest uses of it, it's about horseshoes and snow or mud balls being bollocksed up inside of the horseshoes and making them inefficient. The the way they step on the mud or snow.
Interesting. And that's spelled with the X.
No,
Okay.
it is Ball. Oh, wait, hold on. The British slang bollocks for testicles is either Ballocks or Bollocks. And the OED's first definition, it says, of a shoe, especially a horseshoe, hoof, etc., to become clogged with balls of mud, snow, or the like, also with the horse as a subject. The dictionary has citations, all but one American, dating from 1760. This is from George Washington's 1787 diary. Apprehension of the horses balling with the snow. So it's been around a long time, and it is not the same word. So bollocksing up means like getting clogged up or, mussed up with a bunch of dirt or snow or something else. Yeah. That's
Jerry Conway being fancy.
Yeah, right? So I think that was MJ who mentioned that.
Huh.
Yeah. So there you go, MJ. Hope that settles.
All right.
The layout here, like you're saying, Jonah reaching out to us in 3D across the panel gutter there. I love like the werewolf fully horizontal diving and we see the back of Spider-Man's head, like he's on the ground, like on the carpet, kind of rolling out of the way. Just, you have to imagine Spider-Man's like, 18 frames per second. Everyone's 24 frames per second. Like he's just a little bit faster, The first time you see Spider-Man move, it's like a little unnatural. And so he's just one step ahead of the werewolf. Just great stuff. And I like as he's ducking as the werewolf slashes and knocks over a lamp. He's like, think about it, Jameson. Have you insulted any werewolves lately? Yeah, his routine here is hilarious.
Yeah, but I like that he ends on that joke, which is his strongest joke of the page. Like this is a routine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's referred to the man-wolf as Rover, a eager pooch.
Yeah.
White Fang, which I kind of like.
I know. I like that too.
Yeah. And then oddly enough, on the next page, he just wallops the big ass kick right in the mammal's face. Like, something, Jonah? I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I mean, you're not exactly on my favorite person list, And another thing, why am I suddenly in such a blasted good mood? It's like, okay, he might be bipolar.
He might be, but he also is punching something that needs to be punched. So
and he made some jokes.
He made jokes, so he's back in his comfort zone of punching and joking.
Right, and so he just kicked the man-wolf pretty hard and sent him flying backwards into Jonah as he's at a phone table trying to make a call for the police. And I'm pretty sure he just shattered Jonah's sternum.
It's just, it looks like it. Yeah.
He has the strength of, he can bench press like 10 tons, I think. And he just kicked a werewolf into he's not a senior citizen yet, but he's like 50 something.
He's in his 50s. So
into a table.
Yeah.
With his chest.
Yeah. He wouldn't be coming back from that easily.
And so that's a huge whoomp. And then we get a great panel of the man-wolf snarling and looking right at us saying, speaking of moods, looks like I've put Spot in a bad one. And the man-wolf picks up that same side table, I assume, throws it at Spider-Man and just kind of does a flying jump kick at him. And he's like, something? A month ago, I wouldn't even have believed any of this. But ever since I hit Frisco last week, I've believed in werewolves. And we get a note from Roy explaining Spidey met the werewolf by night in Marvel Team Up number 12. Roy.
1 week ago.
1 week ago. Yep. And it's like, yeah, werewolves and all sorts of nasty things. And he knows something else. And while he's just kind of bantering like this, the werewolf has jumped. He's doing a flying, like he's balled up, and he's just jumped on top of Spider-Man and grabbed him by the neck. And Pete's still just blah, 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 blah. You can't shut him up. Love it.
Yeah. No, and he finishes a sentence, on the next page after he says, and you know something else? They don't scare me a bit. And he comes out of it and just lays a punch right into the man-wolf. And then he keeps fighting, and he's like, in fact, I'm glad Rover came along. I've been spoiling for a good fight. And it's about time and then finally, the man-wolf finally is just like, fuck this guy, and just comes down on him hard, knocks him down, then slashes at his chest. And this page is pretty simple, except I love that last panel that after man-wolf slashes at Spidey, it zooms into his head as it's hitting the ground, as he's upside down hitting the ground. And it just has this thud. And it's so good at conveying like, oh no, he just got knocked out.
Yeah.
Like he's out.
That's a bell ringer.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love that, again, like you're saying, like he's when the man wolf gets a drop on him, we need to name that move. We've talked about this several times, where like you put your fists together and you bring them from like above your head down to the ground and clock somebody. That has to have a name.
We don't watch enough wrestling. We really should. We should know that, but we don't.
We should. Yeah, I love that close up of Spidey as well at the end there. I love a good, clean Spidey head like that.
Mm-hmm. It's very clean.
Always happy with those.
Yeah.
See, I made a note to ask you why Pete was in San Francisco, but we discussed that and we couldn't remember.
I thought it was, didn't Robbie send him to take pictures of Daredevil?
Oh, it was Daredevil related. You're right.
I think it was. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as you can write it all off.
Yep.
If Jonah will actually recoup that.
Yeah.
On that last page, though, I love that first panel where he's finishing that quip and punching the werewolf, and it's literally sideways. Like they're so kinetic that he's like you turn it 90 degrees and it's a normal fight scene.
Yep.
Like they're having a full on fight and they're so physical that they're beating gravity with their movement.
Yeah, it's so cool. Dynamism is the only word to really describe it.
Right. So Jonah is frantically trying to call for help, and he's frightened halfway to death. And as he's dialing 911, a clawed hand reaches out and grabs his wrist. And it says he'd be willing to do something suicidal, like resist, he's not so frightened that he'd be willing to do something suicidal, like resist a snarling man wolf. And that was a weird, tender moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you would think that a man wolf would slash your arm off or, slit your throat or whatever, but he actually stops him like a we need to talk kind of look. And they have a face-to-face moment, and he's saying, what do you want with me? Why me? I've never done anything to you, never attacked you. Why did you pick me? And the beast starts growling, and Jonah's sweating fully, absolute panic. And he starts looking directly at this threat and notices that red jeweled necklace around his neck. And he sees what he has not seen before as the beast is just staring him down, growling. And it says, silence is thick in the ransacked apartment. Man stares at Wolf, and Wolf stares in turn, and something passes between the two. A wordless communication, a plea for help. Then without another sound, the man wolf pads for the window and springs from the stunned publisher's apartment, leaving behind him one very quiet middle-aged entrepreneur. So we see the man wolf just dive out that open, shattered window, and he is gone in the rainy night.
So this was the page that I made note where I'm just like, this is a horror comic. Like you could take this and put it in an issue of Menace, an issue of Strange Tales from the Atlas era. I mean, Jonah's expressions on all. I mean, yeah, it's so cool. And this is Gil Kane drawing from his experience, drawing from the 50s style of doing a horror comic. It jumped out at me when I saw this page.
No, I totally agree. And yeah, that panel where father and son are looking at each other in their different states, and it's just this frozen, wordless communication is great. And the man wolf is striking that earlier pose when he first transformed is similar to that, where it's echoing back to his pain upon his transformation, that this is a negative place for him to be in his life.
Yeah, just really, really cool page. So on the next one, Spider-Man finally wakes up, fires a couple of one-liners off immediately after waking up. He's like, hey, Jonah, what happened to Tall, Dark, and Harry? Don't tell me you beat them all by your lonesome. If that gets out, we'll have to give your Peaceful Citizen Award to Joe Frazier. So he's like, he's basically Robin Williams at this point, just firing jokes off as fast as possible, just in this bizarre kind of, almost uncomfortable pace.
Half Chandler Bing, half Robin Williams.
And then, before Jonah can say anything, he's just like, what's the deal, Jameson? Where are the snappy comebacks? Aren't you going to accuse me of planning this whole thing? And I love Jonah's demeanor on this page. He's just like, you're not going after him, Spider-Man. I won't allow it. And he's like, you won't what? I love what he says. He's like, dummy, that character tried to kill you.
He's still holding the phone in his terrified hand, by the way.
He is. No, you're absolutely right. Jonah's like, that doesn't matter. It's not important. If you attack him, I'll make you pay, you wall-crawling menace. And Spider-Man's very confused. He's like, look, I'm not your biggest fan, but that monster. And then, yeah, Jonah is just so pissed, and he's not screaming. You can just say that he's just talking so intensely, being like, Spider-Man, I swear to you, if you move one muscle against that creature, I'll report this as an attempt on my life by you. He's like, am I clear? And Spider-Man says, loud and bunky. Next time, remind me not to play Good Samaritan. Some people have a weird sense of gratitude. And he takes off out the shattered window.
Very Spider-Man sentiment there.
Definitely. And then it's just Jonah thinking, and that panel, he's like, grateful. How can I be grateful to the man I hate most in the world? And the next panel, how can I be grateful when the mad killer he saved me from is my son? And that panel, again, that's a romance comic panel.
It's also very Ditko.
With the tears, it's very Ditko. Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. Like all the old styles are here.
Yeah, extreme close up, like an old romance comic like that for the reaction. Yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful page. I mean, I love that the rain and the stormy night just kind of looms over this whole story. Like you can see it in this first panel, right? When Pete's waking up, kind of shaking his head clear and just going back into his Robin Williams genie routine. Jameson's just looking at the window, holding the phone absentmindedly, just staring through the rain at his son as this creature jumping off over the rooftops, fleeing. Beautiful stuff and shattered glass everywhere. The art's gorgeous. So on our next to the last page, we cut back to the man-wolf out in the rainy night, and he's still diving away, jumping rooftop to rooftop. And it says, it leaps and lunges from roof to roof, searching, but for what its animal mind cannot say. Against a moon that's gray behind a raining mist, the man-wolf dives. Its prey is nearer now. It can sense its prey, though it still knows not what manner of creature the prey is. It seems like no other the man-wolf has ever sought. So the prey was originally Jonah, but now that has changed. And then he's crouching down on top of a chimney top on a building, and says, there, the man-wolf thinks, my prey is there, the one who attacked me, who sought to kill me. He is there, the one who must die. And then he just starts growling. And then we see on the last panel of this page that he is looking from the background and the foreground at Peter, who is also sitting on a rooftop in the rain, thinking, funny, I started this evening knotted up with anguish, burning with hate. Now I feel kind of loose, as though I've washed all the madness out of my system. I don't even blame Jameson for being a pig-headed lummox. That's just the way he is, I suppose. That's what makes him JJJ. It was the fight with that man-wolf. Somehow it released all my tensions, worked out all my anger. Almost, I can dig the world. Which I want to be a musical.
Oh,
really,
man.
A number in a Spider-Man musical.
Yeah.
Almost, I can dig the world.
Oh, God. We're going to have to write that.
But the way Kane draws Spider-Man, like, just relaxed in repose, like sitting with his like elbow on his knee, and he just looks so kind of contemplative.
Yeah, this is
good.
This is his soliloquy, and it's it's awesome.
Yeah, he needs to be singing.
Patreon exclusive.
I can do this all day.
Yeah. Okay, now we're at the last page, and so Spidey senses something behind him immediately and turns around. He's like, wait, my spider sense there's danger around here, something threatening me. But then he's like, he doesn't see anything because the man-wolf comically just ducks down immediately to not be seen. I don't know why I laughed harder at that than anything in the issue. And he's like, but what? It's almost dawn. All the muggers are in bed by now, which is where I should be, snuggled up all tight. So he's like, yeah, I still can't get over that feeling of menace, though, as though something pretty bad was about to happen to none other than your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. As he's saying this, Man-Wolf has pounced and is leaping behind him, ready to attack.
Without Pete's knowledge.
Yeah, without Pete's knowledge. And the final narration says, and on a straight line like that, we're going to end the first installment of our two-part thriller. See if you can guess what's going to happen in our chill-packed conclusion, which we call Wolf-packed. P-A-C-T.
Yep. I love that final panel. Of course, as a monster is attacking the hero and the hero is completely ignorant of it. And he has that slash on his chest from the
Yeah.
Man-Wolf. So anytime there's Battle Ravaged Spider-Man, I always bought those figures.
Yep.
I love Battle Ravaged Spider-Man. So when his costume's ruined, I think it looks awesome. So that was the introduction of the Man-Wolf. What do you think?
I thought it was great. Like I say, I mean, I think you have childhood memories of this, at least this story. I have childhood memories of this specific issue, and so yeah, I love it. I think it's a great introduction to the character. It really differentiates it from Jack Russell from Werewolf by Night, where these are two separate entities that are going to be in Marvel for a while. I think it was really handled really well.
I agree. I was more taken by Gil Kane's work than anything else throughout this, but there are moments that we mentioned throughout here where Conway's writing was just deft and expert. I mean, just yeah, I loved it. It's I don't know if you ever heard the Power Records version. I might do something for Twitter or something,
You should.
with that audio and video, but yeah, it's all that stuff is always very simplified. They take out anything kind of adult or anything that alludes to an ongoing storyline and just kind of dumb everything down for younger kids. So going back to this one and reading this again, where it's tied into, I mean, I think having all the Gwen and the Norman stuff and all that angst and stuff back in there really raises emotional stakes in this one. So when it's just Pete and his boss who's mean to him, and then a werewolf attacks and he stops the werewolf from killing his mean boss, doesn't have the same weight as this one where it's much more complicated.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I love the Man-Wolf. I love, I understand that this comes from a stupid capitalist place where they're just flooding the market and trying to get as many sales as they can before the fad passes. Mm-hmm. But I do like that, someone there like Roy or Jerry or whoever was like, let's at least do this with a little bit of style and, something we're proud to put our names on. So they didn't do Dracula Jr. They did Morbius, and they made him a completely different character from a completely different place. And Man-Wolf is, it's based on the moon landing. It's not based on the Darkhold. Like, I like that they made that effort.
They did. And I think even checking the origin of these characters every time, whether it's Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, or Man-Wolf or Morbius, it's Jerry Conway that's doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Like he's just getting these editorial edicts from on high. He's getting shit yelled at him from the hallway and the offices. And then he's like, oh, fuck, I got to do something good.
Yeah. He's sitting on a Marvel toilet. His hand just reaches over the stall and just puts a sticky note that says science vampire, or whatever.
Yeah.
Second vampire.
Yeah. But then Conway, I mean, yeah, maybe it's because he's young. Maybe it's because but he does right every time. He could have taken the easy way out, just done a stupid character, but he doesn't. Every time in the early 70s when he's behind a creation of a character, he does a great fucking job.
Yeah. And a lot of times they're editorial 8-balls and he somehow makes a miracle play out of those. Like, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lemons and lemon lavender mojitos.
Yes.
Stan hands you lemons.
Yeah.
You make lemon lavender mojitos.
Yeah. Well, like you say, I mean, who else could have done Morbius from just getting the sticky note that says science vampire?
And he might have added that science part for all we know. They might.
Yeah.
Stan might have just said more vampires.
I'm pretty sure that's what he did. Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah. But, I mean, obviously in this issue, Gil Kane, Romita, Tony Mortallero, they all did great art, but I think Conway's the winner in this. Yeah. I think I just think his writing, his creation in this makes it something that has lasted this long.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you say it that way, yeah, I'm with you. I think Conway's the winner here as well. Kane just, I mean, I feel like we're just beating a dead horse here, saying how brilliant he is. So
he can do no wrong at this point. Like,
yeah,
like, and that's the interesting thing. Like Jerry Conway is 20 years old. Gil Kane's like 47.
Oh shit! Was he that much older?
Yeah, he's easily as old. Could be Jerry Conway's dad.
Oh wow, man. I mean, I feel like he's just, yeah. I feel like he's just like, like the Beatles, like 66. Like, it's just like, no, shh, I'm just doing a thing. I got something going on, and it's just like nothing bad dribbles out.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, from all the covers that Gil Kane does, from all the art that we've seen him do in the 70s, yeah, the guy can do no wrong at this point.
Yeah, and his the variety of his approaches, like we said, like he doesn't need to do all of this stuff. The fact that he's doing it because he's a consummate artist and because he's interested and passionate, and he wants to do the best he can and do these visual representations like this, just really endear him to me, I guess. Some of those angles in there were just wacky, right? It was just like,
they're totally wacky and unnecessary, but so cool that they're in there.
It's almost like he sometimes has the Bowie Eno deck of cards, where it's just kind of like,
he does,
draw something from a worm's eye view. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
What would it look like inside of a man's shirt button?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know, like this, I guess.
Oh.
But he's not right.
Yeah,
but he's not seeking some type of inspiration or like a break to a block. He's just that on fire.
Yeah, he's on fire at this point. 1973, like, yeah, he's working constantly. Like, he has just the biggest workload of his career at Marvel. And he's always been a busy guy. He was a busy guy at DC through the 50s and 60s. Like, he's done so much, but he's in the last part of his career and is doing his best work.
When did he die? Approximately.
I'm not sure, actually.
Okay. Like, did he retire?
Yeah, I mean, I think, his workload slowly started to,
taper
off as the 70s went on.
Okay, cool. Well, I love that we had that intro. I feel really good about that. And I'm excited for next week to see how the intro wraps up with the revelations of who John is and what this what the trigger was for this new creature.
Yeah, it's a really cool intro to a character. I'm glad we were able to go through it.
And this is a guy that's hung around Marvel. I mean, he obviously was introduced in '63, but I mean, he's from this point on, he doesn't really leave very often. Like, he marries a prominent character. Mm-hmm. He's a sidekick to a certain shield wielding guy for a while. He's got lots of jobs. He's around.
He's had like every job. Yeah.
He and Rick Jones are like the vying for the Marvel Everyman title.
Yeah, they're the utilitarian characters that can just fit into any scenario.
Definitely. Cool. Well, folks, let us know what your thoughts are on this on Instagram and Twitter. I think you know those by now, but I'll stick those in the show notes. And we're still looking for that drink. So make up a drink, name it, send the recipe to us. We'll try it. And the winner will get a Pack Brother, Pack Sister Patreon account, full access to all of our goodies. What else do we need to say?
I don't think too much. I think the rest of the stuff we're going to save for the bonus episode, which will be free this week.
Yes. So as Jacob just alluded to, we're ending the show now. So this is a normal ending, but we're sticking the new bonus show on as a sampler for you so you can hear what that's like. So if you dig it, go to patreon.com/Werewolf by Night podcast and join one of the levels that includes the weekly bonus show. If you want to see us talk about these comics and music and movies and stuff, join a tier that has a video level. That will be a weekly thing you can do. Spend a little time with Howell Balcom.
Yep.
Guaranteed to whiten teeth, cure cancer. Yeah. What else do we do?
I like looking at us.
Exorcise ghosts.
Yeah.
Stay tuned after the theme song here, and we'll be back with our free sample of our bonus episode. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next week. Till we meet again neath the full moon, furry ones, here's Howlin' at ya. Hello, and welcome to the Werewolf by Night bonus show. This is our inaugural episode, and it's a free sample for any of you that are not currently Patreon members. I'm Matt Howell.
I'm Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, listeners. We have some fun stuff to talk about. We have some non-werewolf comics, some music, and a werewolf movie. So, and Jacob has a review to mention.
Yeah, I thought our bonus episode would be a good place to mention reviews that we get, and we're always looking for more 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts especially, but any of the podcast platforms where you're able to leave a review. We've gotten a lot of great ones. We're pretty lucky. We're at 5 stars right now on Apple Podcasts. So,
Aggregate.
Yeah, aggregate 5 stars. So yeah, not too bad.
To be clear.
Yes. So so we got one. The last one we got was December 14th of 2021 from DM Luth.
Oh, that one.
It says werewolves belong in podcasts, I think. Title's cut off when I'm reading it. All right.
That's correct.
It says, I love this podcast. Listening to guys that have such an interest in a kind of obscure title is awesome. One of my first comics ever was Werewolf by Night 33, which was the second appearance of Moon Knight. I always loved that cover. My only thing I would change is that the podcast occasionally drips a little into politics. Not a lot, but enough to comment on it and get a feel for their ideology. It dirties the water just a little bit. So as far as reviews, number one, this is a 5-star review.
And that's why there's no ire.
Yeah.
From old Matt Howell.
No, exactly. And I actually thought that this was... I've read our friends at Marvel by the Month got quite a good review that was, a much more pointed than this was just calling them too woke and all this other stuff, which we all had a good laugh at. But I actually thought that this review, I felt like it was a civil discourse. I felt like it was a pretty classy way to do this. I mean, he didn't have to mention it, but the way that he did, I felt was pretty classy and civil. So I would, don't you think?
Yes. Yes. I feel like yes. I'm trying to figure out how to approach this one. The 5 stars helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Helps a lot.
So if you want to say, I mean, he's not saying that we're woke.
No.
I think that you and I make no bones about the fact that we are progressives, hard left.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, woke would be whatever, a social justice warrior, flaming liberal. Like I've heard lots of things that describe my alignment. I have no shame in that. If he had said that stuff and then like taken away a star or two, I'd be a little more irked. But the fact that he's saying, if I change something, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't know that they hate Trump.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I guess.
No, I love it.
You gave me 5 stars. Thank you. I'm not going to stop being who I am. I feel like we very rarely really, I mean, he's saying it's seeping through the.
Yeah, but he says occasionally, and I actually think that's fairly accurate. It is occasionally our views will come through. Hopefully not in a way that alienates anybody, but I mean, obviously we're not going to hide who we are, but politics isn't what this podcast is about, but this podcast is about who we are, and that's obviously going to seep through a little bit. But I thought
cults
that
of
this
personality.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought this was actually really cool. Any type of discourse or differences of opinion that can be slightly civil online, I am all about.
You're right.
And I felt like this was really cool. So DM Luth, please message us your address. I would love to send you a pack of buttons made from real Werewolf by Night comics. Matt's going to throw in a free subscription to the Daily Worker, and that's on us. Like, that's for you. So
I said Daily Bugle. I was like, I got that covered, brother.
But no, I thought this I thought this review was really cool because
I did too.
Most of our reviews have just been nothing but glowingly positive, which I am not complaining about at all. But I liked this review a lot, and I hope that he writes in so we can reward him.
Yes, I do appreciate that. And you're right. I'm being a smartass.
I know.
Yeah. Any kind of criticism like that, I can take criticism. So that's fine. It doesn't mean I'm going to change my behavior.
No, but
I feel like political discourse is extremely coarsened, like you're saying. Just any kind of discourse online is coarsened. So the fact that he was cool about it, I appreciate. But I think that we need to talk about stuff more. So I don't know. I guess my immediate take on that was like you never discuss, in a comics podcast, you don't talk about politics or religion or whatever, that whole kind of like social shit. And I completely disagree with all that shit. Like I am the first guy to walk into a room and say, you're Baptist. I fucking think your religion's bullshit. You're fucking conservative. You're a fucking monster. But I'm willing to have a back and forth. Okay. But so podcasts are not back and forth.
No, they're not back and forth. So yeah. I know this about you. I know you come in hot. That's why I love you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would like to think that we create an experience. We're talking about old comics that anyone, even someone that might have different views than us, might still be able to enjoy. I should hope so.
Me too.
Yeah.
And, except people that think kids should be in cages.
Okay. There you go.
See, I can delineate anything. No, I appreciate that. And I hope that he does write in, or she writes in and gets their buttons, because I would love to send them some. I appreciate the review. I do. And
I do too.
I'm open to healthy feedback, which I think that really was.
Yeah, exactly. Healthy feedback. Oh man, I'm all about it, because how often do you see it online? Never.
Not very often. Yeah.
So yeah,
that being said,
yeah,
I'm not changing a goddamn thing.
Yes. No one would expect you to be very off brand for you.
Some people said, I did post this one earlier this week.
Oh yeah, you did responses on our Instagram. That's right.
I post most of our reviews.
Yeah.
I think I even posted our 1 4-star review.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some responses saying, like werewolf pissed upstream and Bob, just like fun people on our side saying stuff back. But yeah, I think Amy, who was on the show, a friend of mine, said something like, I want to keep the water dirty. Which I want to play the Standells Dirty Water, but I'm not going to because of copyright claims. Yeah, I think the water is going to stay dirty here. Like when we talk about the committee, I think that we mentioned that they were probably rich Republican people or something. That's not going away. I'm not changing who I am. So
okay.
I think we mentioned something this episode. For beginning of season 2, I already mentioned something political. Oh, alternative facts.
Yep, there you go.
I'm throwing it way back too. That's like 2017.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Was it Alexander Luther?
DM Luth. DM Luth. But yeah, I think we should. I think in the bonus episodes, it'd be nice to talk about the reviews as maybe the first thing we come in out of the gate. After that, we can do our movies. And you had suggested a movie that I had never heard of this week. It's called The Mad Monster from 1942. It's directed by Sam Newfield. And this is put out by PRC, which is kind of known as Poverty Row. But what is the actual name of the company? It's
Producers Releasing Corp.
Producers Releasing Corp. Yeah, which I've seen some stuff of. But and Mystery Science Theater did this one.
They did.
They did in the first season. Yeah, in season 1, which isn't watched a whole lot.
I don't watch a lot of it.
No, I don't either.
I don't have a problem with J. Elvis Weinstein, but I don't care for his Crow that much. I mean, his Tom Servo.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I have seen every episode of Mystery Science Theater, so I know I've seen this before, but I don't remember this one in particular. But yeah, I love Poverty Row stuff.
It's really cool. They're great.
I don't know. So folks, if you're not like into like old movies, Poverty Row was just a blanket term that was applied to some film production companies that came from like the 30s and 40s that were obviously cheaper, B movies. So if you had a bill that had two or three different films on it, the Poverty Row movie would be the cheapie that was stuck on. Usually I always get these wrong. Did they have the good movie first and then shit to fill out the bill, or vice versa?
I get it mixed up all the time. I'm totally with you on that. I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I would think that they'd put the good one on first and that the shit one would be on just for like couples that are there to make out.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
That's what I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how it was done.
But this was directed by Sam Newfield, who had worked with them for a long time. And he actually directed their first film. And did you read about this one?
So not their first film, but he directed under a bunch of pseudonyms too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but their first film was directed by him, and it's called Hitler, Beast of Berlin. That was 1939.
Okay.
And it was one of the most popular hiss and boo films of the World War II era, to the point where it got detractors saying it was just made to be like it's essentially a propaganda film making fun of Nazi propaganda films.
Yes.
So it's based on a novel, but I haven't seen the novel or read the novel, but I haven't seen this film either. But I love Poverty Row because anytime you have a chance to watch, a Bela Lugosi or whoever, just these cheapy, they're just so cheap. And this film was really cheap as well.
Oh yeah.
If you have any kind of awareness of the way that film production works, you can see when people are cutting corners. Like, for instance, in this film, like anytime that the mad monster is walking through the swamp, you can tell that it happens several times throughout the film, but they're all filmed the same time. Some of them are recycled shots of
I noticed
the exact same shot. Yeah. So they're all cheap. This has like 3 sets in it. And, I appreciate low budget filmmaking. I love Primer. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. That's $8,000.
Yeah, I thought this was. I was really entertained by this. I mean, just a brief summary. So it basically just opens up with a doctor, the mad scientist, Dr. Cameron, who's basically just doing a blood transfusion from like a wolf to a human.
Yeah.
Like that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some reagent that you will need to put in to have different species bloods work together.
I know. I was paying attention. It just seems like it's just straight up a bag of blood from a wolf and then injected into this guy who's his handyman, who's a learning disabled handyman named Petro, who he's basically just injecting wolf blood into this guy. He wakes
it was Gardner.
up. Yeah, it was his.
My note was the movie that dares to dopily say, "I'm sorry if I made a nuisance of myself, Davey."
Oh, see, for me, I just so I was watching this, and as he was talking, I was just like, "Oh, so this is the movie that like." A 12-year-old Jim Neighbors watched and is like, I can do that. I can totally do that.
Totally.
And also, which is kind of a tradition for us, is that we normally like to talk about the levels of high we are for watching this. So I had a bottle of the Mule Shine, had a little bit left at the bottom, but I think I took a little too much. So I was fairly high, maybe about 15 minutes into this thing.
Okay.
And it helped, but I got really distracted. Like once I thought about Jim Neighbors, then I had to like pause the movie. I had to listen to Jim Neighbors' version of Windmills of Your Mind. And then I was like, oh, now I have to listen to the Noel Harrison version of Windmills of Your Mind. Then I fell asleep for a while.
So you went down some deer trails.
I went down some deer trails. Then I woke up and was like, no, I'm paying attention to this fucking movie. I'm writing notes. Let's do this thing.
But you had paused it, right?
Oh, I definitely paused it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. And I also thought like the gardener, like the handyman Petro, he's played by a guy named Glenn Strange, whose IMDb headshot looks a lot like a poor man's Lon Chaney Jr. Like it really did. Like his headshot looked
Yeah,
like fucking Wolfman.
he replaced Lon Chaney Jr. in the Universal horror cycle for the last 3 appearances of the werewolf.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah.
So I'm not sorry, not the werewolf. He played the Frankenstein after Karloff left.
Okay, gotcha.
So Glenn Strange is most famous for people like us for being the Universal, the second creature or monster of Frankenstein.
Okay.
But he was also the bartender in some Western on TV for years and years and years.
Okay. Yeah, but
So
this is pretty standard mad scientist fare.
Yeah.
I did like in the beginning to where we're supposed to realize that he's a little mad because he just goes through this long drawn out thing where he's just talking to like the ghostly phantoms of his colleagues that embarrassed him.
Yeah. So this is a scientist who has been drummed out of the academic world for his crazy views, and he has rented this house out in the middle of nowhere, and he's out there with his daughter and his really like sub of mice and men level gardener, and yeah, he's out there and he's working on his blood transfusion theories. He wants to make essentially super soldiers. He's thinking if you can take wolf blood and put it into American soldiers. I'm sorry, I might be confusing 2 different Wolfman movies I watched this week, by the way. But he's thinking this has applications that could help the government, particularly with World War II. Right? That's what he's alluding to.
I think so.
It's 44. I mean, he's saying like, if we could inject this into soldiers, they would fight with a ferocity that would be blah, blah,
yes,
right?
yes. Yeah, he does say that. You're right.
So, so he's been out in this rented, decrepit mansion, and he has a hidden, of course, it's a B movie from the 40s. So he has a hidden lab behind a wall bookshelf. I based my entire life on this thing, by the way. Like my measures of success are based on, do you have a grandfather clock or a bookshelf that opens up and goes into a secret part of your house? Do you're not a success yet.
Do you have a metal candle on the wall that you can pull down?
Thank you.
And then a
sconce.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then the wall would turn. And no, you're right. That is a good measure of what a good science-y B movie should be.
So this scientist is played by George Zucco, who had quite a career. He was around forever, and he was in a bazillion films, but he often was in these Poverty Row films, which, he would often just play I guess he was British born. He sounded to me almost like that type of transcontinental American actor who, went to private school and finishing school and got a Vincent Price accent. Yeah. But he's actually British.
Okay.
And he was in a ton of the stuff. He often played mad scientists, as he does in this one. I'm not going to grab any clips in here because this is not That's Cool, That's Trash. But like when he's confronting some of his detractors, this entire film is a revenge plot, by the way. So he is basically planning on sicking his werewolf made out of his mentally retarded gardener.
Yes.
On the guys from his collegiate previous life who mocked his ideas.
That's right.
So it's Kill Bill, but with a slow gardener and werewolf blood.
Yeah, it is. But I love that it's revenge. I mean, I guess he did get kicked out or like lose his tenure or something. But for the most part in the beginning, I'm just like, oh, so he wants to kill all these guys because they laughed at him.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Like
and
he was just embarrassed one day. And so now he's just like, fuck these guys. I'm going to throw a werewolf grenade at them.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
I have a question. I only watched this whole thing once. So I had an edible when it started.
Okay.
And it didn't kick in until halfway through. So I had to watch the second half again, just sober to kind of. What was my point? So the first time when he's in the opening scene, when you see him like confronting his detractors in his mind, I love that, right? Like
it was
Osborn,
it was awesome.
Whatever. Yeah. So there's an empty table and he's addressing all those people that he has grievances with. The first chair. So the way you do this, folks, is like you film an empty table with chairs, and then you film it again with the person sitting in the chair and you overlap them. to make it them like 50% opaque, so you can see that they're in his mind, not real. The first one, they got it right. The other four, the first one, they flipped the two around so that the ghosty mental apparition of the guy was behind the chair. Did you notice that?
I did, yeah.
That made me laugh the entire scene. It's like, oh my God.
Man.
I know it's not easy in 1944 to do special effects, but you can tell that's wrong.
Yeah, it's totally wrong.
He's not sitting behind the chair.
No.
Anyway, this had lots of like cliche, perfect, simple folks. Like Glenn Strange as the gardener was like very much of Mice and Men, like, George,
Yeah.
I just want to, George.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't make myself a nuisance. He kept saying that every time. Like
he said that a lot.
They had to strap him down so he didn't sleepwalk when he turned into the monster. So he was worried when he woke up that he was a nuisance.
Yeah.
They live in the swamps. And there's a poor swamp guy who's the werewolf kills the first time he goes out on his own. And that guy sounded like the Simpsons voice actor, like, oh, what you doing there? You ruining this whole thing. Like that, whatever that Simpsons like corn farmer guy is. That was totally that guy. They killed my daughter, Sarah.
My precious antique cans. Yeah.
Got that guy.
Exactly. It's that guy. Yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah, then it just seeing him go. So the first half is that establishing the plan and that the monster works, and the second half is him deploying the monster in his plan, and he has this very specific plan, which kind of made me laugh. Like he goes to the first dude at 11:30, and he's like, "Hey, I have this plan. You guys laughed me out of the academy." And, I'm here and I'm going to prove you wrong. And the guy's like, okay, I would love to be proven wrong at 11:30 on Tuesday night. Sure. Let's do that. He's like, okay, here's the first injection of this transfusion. The other one has to be in 20 minutes. Exactly. And if I'm not here, you have to do it. And then he leaves.
I know. He just
creates
takes
an
off.
alibi with another doctor in a scene, fakes a heart attack so that a park security guard guy walks by and goes, hey, what are you doing? It's 12:01 and you're here having a heart attack. He's like, oh, I'm fine. And then so he has an alibi. I mean, it was so weird. It just gets
it was very well thought out in a weird way.
Yeah. And then the biggest star was a guy I'd never heard of who plays the mad scientist's daughter's boyfriend, who was a
newspaper
reporter.
Man. Yeah, a cub reporter. Yeah.
I didn't know who that dude was.
Yeah, but he got top billing.
Yeah, top billing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I didn't understand that either. And I thought it was funny, like the grandmother character was totally like a take on Una O'Connor.
Totally.
Just like, and every time everyone's like, I don't know who's doing this. And she's like, it's a werewolf.
It needs a silver bullet.
It needs a silver bullet. She just keeps telling them what it is. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about, Grandma.
Yeah. I love that. Wow. It had a lot of things I liked about it. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, it did. I actually really liked it. So I would recommend it. I think it's really fun and if you love bad movies, like this is a really bad, but also kind of good movie. It's on Tubi for free.
Mm-hmm. And YouTube. And it's
easy.
It's virtually public domain, but
I would recommend it. I would check it out.
Actually, you know what? I would recommend people do it on Tubi just because you can turn on subtitles, because
I know I did too.
This is one of those early, like the audio is so bad. Like this, it's from 1944, but it sounds like it's from 1931.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's done on a wax cylinder.
It does. To where you're like, oh, they haven't figured out sound yet. But I'm like, oh, this is 1944. Like,
yeah, it's really poorly done sound. So I actually turned the subtitles on.
I did too.
Which helped a bit.
Yeah. No, it definitely helped.
But yeah, George Zucco is absolutely unhinged. He's like basically in a lot of these like PRC films and other Poverty Row companies, like, Lugosi would do a quick 3 days work for a quick check. And Zucco was kind of the guy that would get when Lugosi wasn't available. But he kind of makes every Lugosi non-Dracula role look like Olivier. I mean, like
he does.
When he starts ranting,
he's a good actor.
Yeah, he emotes like a mofo. Like he was going cray-cray with his revenge plot. And It's an old Poverty Row horror movie, so you have to have a mad scientist that controls his creation with a bullwhip. Like that always comes out from Ed Wood on. Like, oh, okay, I guess this is pre Ed Wood, isn't it?
Yep.
Get on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so let's talk about the appearance of the gardener when he turns into the mad monster. How would you describe the way he looks? Because I have notes.
Well, I mean, the main note is this is the worst werewolf makeup to exist on screen.
Up to that point, or even now?
I would think even now.
But remember when I shared that Indian film, or I think it was Indian, or that had that the dog shooting laser beams out of its eyes at the man, and then he has like patches of carpet appearing like in stop motion, time lapse.
Yeah.
Still,
I still think this was the worst.
So did Glenn Strange not have a mustache and then get a Errol Flynn mustache when he was the monster, or am I high? Was I high?
Well, we were both high, but I think that no, I did not notice that.
It appeared that he had a dark thing right here, like.
I bet that was something that was somehow holding on the pieces, the pieces of straw.
Okay, so as a werewolf, he looked a lot like. Have you seen Teen Wolf? The film, not the series.
Like just with Michael J. Fox?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So the guy that played his dad, right? Remember when like Michael J. Fox is transforming and he's in the bathroom freaking out and he's like washing his face and like trying to like, no dad. Yeah. He's like, Scotty, if you just open the door, I think I can explain everything. And then he opens the door and his dad's in his wolf form.
Yeah.
He looks like that.
He did.
And his dad
look
looks like a sex gnome, like some kind of weird, like porno sex gnome thing.
Yeah, it was not my favorite.
So he has like this really long hair and it's all like swept back in this weird big bowl. So to me, and he's always wearing coveralls.
Yeah.
Because he's a gardener and he's simple with a shirt. So he looks to me like if Jerry Garcia, like from like 75, went on a blind date. He's like, look, I'm not taking off the fucking coveralls. Like, will you just put a shirt on? Fine. What about your hair? Can you comb your hair back and just swoop it back? Okay, fine. There. Now I'm on my blind date. That's what he looked like to me.
That's it. That's great. That's a perfect description. I love it.
So, I feel like if you like Poverty Row cheapies, these fill two very distinct roles for me. I either use them when I have insomnia and it's like 4 a.m. and I have like an 8 o'clock meeting, and I'll just turn them on, but the volume like just low enough to where I can't quite hear it. And then I'll get on the couch and like get a bunch of pillows and just kind of nestle up, and it's just like you just have that kind of comforting sound of like old movie sound.
Yep.
Otherwise, I watch them just for fun. I love them.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this, so I'm glad you recommended it.
Cool. You know, we should probably have people recommend feature films. I have a list going, but I would love to hear people think we should watch. I think we need to. I mean, you haven't seen The Howling in a long time.
Nope, not in a long time.
You never saw Dog Soldiers.
Nope.
So I think we should, folks, if you want to recommend stuff we'll watch for these bonus episodes, I would love to hear what werewolf movies we should see. I think that's it for this one, though. Pretty classic Poverty Row film.
Yeah, like I say, I had a really good time. I had a good time watching it. I'm glad you suggested it. But yeah, people have suggested stuff for us to watch before that we've really liked. So I'm totally into putting it out there.
Let's go ahead and say that we will watch Dog Soldiers the next time we talk about a film.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I would like you to see it.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it for probably 15 years.
Yeah, a friend of the show, Tim Tucker, he goes on about Dog Soldiers. He loves it. And so, yeah, I would be anxious to see that just so I can chat with him about it.
Yeah, I would say it was the last great werewolf movie I saw.
Cool.
Produced.
Nice. So I don't know if you have any recommendations. I have some things I've been reading lately that really stuck with me. So do you want to go first?
No, I want you to go first.
Okay. I'm going to say my first one, which I have here, is Swamp Thing Green Hell, which is a DC Black Label. It's Jeff Lemire, Doug Mahnke, and David Barron. It is fucking awesome. If you love a Swamp Thing that is horror and super violent, then yeah, I loved it. It kind of takes place in a future where like rising sea levels have kind of led to this post-apocalyptic society, and humanity's done so many bad things that the green, the red, and the rot all kind of get together and decide, and it's just like, oh, we just have to wipe out humanity. And so they, so an avatar of the green shows up and just starts, fucking just destroying everybody. And then some other characters from Swamp Thing past show up that I was very happy to see. And Jeff Lemire is just such a great writer. I pretty much love everything that he does.
I'm with you.
And so yeah, I was very, very impressed with this. So I highly recommend it.
So when did that start?
This came out like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the Black Label stuff is typically for large square bound kind of
3 or 4
volumes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And every Black Label thing that I haven't picked up all of them. There's a lot now, but every one that I've picked up, I've really liked. So
cool. I've been reading a lot. Some good, some bad. A weird thing that I've been reading through my library, Hoopla app, is Batman and the Outsiders by Mike Barr and Jim Aparo.
Interesting.
Have you ever read Batman and the Outsiders?
No. I mean, I love Jim Aparo. Like he's the one of my favorite artists. So
it's an interesting book. I always look down my nose at them like the oddball. I don't know, like Batman quits the JL and picks up a bunch of freaks, and it just was a weird editorial choice. And I had an issue or two here and there, but I think like when they crossed over with Teen Titans, but I never really dug into it. So I've just been reading these kind of omnibuy digital editions. I've read the first 2 of them. So I'm 2/3 of the way through the run, and it's really fun. They did some cool stuff like, for 83, 84, like bringing this character Katana in that actually kills people, and having Batman reveal his identity to people that were not super close to him. It's cool. And like, dragging in Metamorpho, I never really got that character. So, it's, and they made a new character called Halo, which is kind of a train wreck. She's like amnesiac who has a bunch of vaguely defined characteristics and seems to be the spirit of the 80s more than anything else.
Okay.
But they finally delve in and show her background and where she came from and why she is who she is and her darkness behind her. But yeah, it's fun. A lot more fun than I thought it would be. I was thinking I would probably read 1 or 2 issues and kind of bail, and I am like 24 issues in now. So it ran for like 3 or 4 years, and I'm 2 of the 3 omnibus editions through it, and I'm really digging it.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and I like Katana a lot. I didn't know anything about her before this, other than she was an Asian sword wielder.
I'm not as familiar with that book at all, really. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. We should talk for a minute, you and I, as friends.
Okay.
About Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil.
Yes.
I just read, I'm not sure which volume it is, called Truth or Dare, and it's the one when he kind of puts himself on trial and turns himself in.
Yep.
This is the first bump in my road of the Zdarsky Daredevil run where I felt like this was not clicking for me.
I understand that, but it's a means to an end. I think it's I think it was an interesting choice. Zdarsky's Daredevil is one of the few books that I've gotten monthly since its run. I have the entire run in floppies, and it's pretty awesome. I agree with you. That's the one part that I didn't 100% love at first, but it's a means to an end, and it's right now his book has folded into this event that's called Devil's Reign.
Like now?
Yeah, now. That like Devil's Reign 1 just came out a couple weeks ago. And
RAIN or REIN? REIGN.
Yeah, REIGN. And it's pretty cool so far. Like the premise is kind of a little simple and maybe a little reductive in that Kingpin, who is mayor of New York, is just like, I outlaw superheroes. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, we've kind of done that before, but it's an interesting take on it. And I've followed Zdarsky this long, so I'm in it to win it. I'm gonna push through.
Okay.
There's also going to be an Elektra miniseries too. That's kind of tied in with it, where Elektra becomes Daredevil, and
That's
so
the big
it's
reveal, right?
Yeah, that's a big reveal. But no, I agree with you. That was the first time in the series where I was like, I'm not 100% on board with this, but I'm going to follow him where he goes. So
Okay.
yeah.
I also am caught up all but the final collection of Immortal Hulk. So I believe I think the next one is the final one. Are you happy with the way that ended?
I am like 70% happy with how it ended.
Okay. I'm not reading Marvel at all anymore, really, unless you tell me to read something. So
you're reading like Daredevil and Immortal Hulk, but
yeah.
But you haven't jumped on to Hickman's X-Men yet, huh?
No.
I think House of X Powers of 10 is worth checking out.
Okay. So I think the last thing I read that was not those was A versus X, AVX.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what, 5 years ago?
No, it's longer than that now, I think.
Was it really?
Yeah.
So I read stuff when it comes out free to me. So that's obviously a big delay. But yeah, maybe you can catch me up because I'm pretty far behind.
Yeah, I mean, right now at Marvel, I mean, the new Moon Knight series is great that Jed MacKay is doing. Alessandro Cappuccio, I think, is on art. And yeah, I've really enjoyed that. I'm liking Daredevil. I mean, Immortal Hulk's done now. Hickman's basically done with X-Men, so I'm kind of hopping off of that. Like Leo Williams has done some cool stuff with like the Trial of Magneto. There's still some cool stuff going on, but I'm hopping off that train. And also Hulk too. I mean, once Immortal Hulk's done, I'm kind of gonna cancel that on my box as well.
So it's done, and there's a new title, or is it just kind of?
Yeah, there's a new title. I think Donny Cates and someone is doing it, and I got the first issue.
Is a fan fave, yeah. Like
he's good.
Venom.
Yeah, I mean he's okay, but yeah, I wasn't super hot on it, and so I'm probably gonna I'm hopping off of that.
So who's taking over the Core X books?
I think Jerry Dugan is still doing the main title. He took over from Hickman, and he's fine. But I kind of went all in on the Hickman stuff and the little tie-ins, and so I've really liked what he's done. I think he did a really good job, but I'm kind of a little burned out. So,
and so you're still buying singles.
Yeah,
away in a little box.
Yep, my list is a lot smaller than it used. Just a lot of stuff that I liked is kind of just either been kind of canceled or is like an Image limited series that comes out like every 2 years or something. So right. I'm still getting the singles on Fraction and Dodson's Adventure Man, which is really cool.
Yeah, I need to read that.
It's really cool. You would like it. I mean, you're a Doc Savage, kind of, I don't know. It's a very.
I'm a man's man.
Yeah, you are a man's man. But no, it's just that kind of adventure, pulp thing. I don't know. He does a great job.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that I would recommend that you read, I actually have it here, is Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez in fucking Wonder Woman Historia is
I'll read that
unreal cool. I could not believe, I mean, every page.
Can't beat those two creators.
Holy shit. Like, and they're doing their best work of all time in this book. Like it took me so long to read this because every page, Phil has there's so much information on every page. And I don't know how Kelly Sue's getting better, but every project she does, she gets better.
Damn.
Like she's just, I don't know, she's Alan Moore level at this point, in my opinion. And so, yeah, just it's a history of the Amazons, but she almost starts it with what she says, like almost a blank slate, like a tabula rasa, just like to where the first page is almost just text, where it's just like saying all the things that people think about Amazons and being like, nope, that's not true. That's not true. Everything is false that you've heard. And we're just going to start from the beginning. It starts with the creation of the goddesses, and then the goddesses try to right all the shitty things that men have done to women over thousands of years. And the goddesses just get, it's so fucking cool. Yeah.
Is that an ongoing, or what is that?
It's a Black Label, and it's
Black Label.
Yeah, they have 3 issues planned now, and Phil Jimenez is doing this one. I think Gene Ha is doing the next one, and then Nicola Scott is going to do the 3rd one.
Wow.
Because I mean, yeah, and they've been working for years on this. I mean, this had to take Phil years to do this art. Like, it's just so bonkers out there, just so much information.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best things I've read in a long time. It shocked me. My mouth was open the whole time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
One of the things I've checked out virtually is the first volume of Usagi Yojimbo. Have you read
nice.
Stan Sakai's
not for a long time, but I did really like it.
So what am I in for? I haven't started yet. I just checked it out.
I mean, I haven't read it since I was much younger. I had a cousin, my cousin Eric, who's a few years older than me, was really into that. And so
is it like traditional tropes with animal, like
yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It would be something I'd like to go back and reread. I heard an interview with him on Mimi Chan's podcast. And he just sounds so cool, and was just kind of talking about the history of it. It was really neat.
Very cool. You have a music recommendation?
Yeah, I'll do that real quick. For those listeners who aren't based in Portland, there is a record store that's been here for, I don't know, maybe 16, 17 years. It's called Mississippi Records. It originally was on Mississippi Street. It's moved since. Started by a guy named Eric Isaacson, I think is his last name. But they've done compilation records and mixtapes and stuff over the years. And he just put out this compilation called Strange World. And it's a double record with this giant book in it that has like all this biographical information about each person. And it's all just really rare, like soul, doo-wop, early ska, little jazz. And it's the culmination of everything he's done. Like, this is the greatest thing he's ever done. How many discs is that? 2? It's 2. It's a double record set, and it's like $25.
I need that.
Like, it's so good. It's one of the best things I've ever had from him.
Okay.
And Eric, his shop, the way that he puts together, comps of world music, of old music, like, he's the biggest influence on my musical taste and my record collection.
Definitely. Like,
the guy's next level cool, and his record collection is vast. His knowledge is vast. Like, he also brings a lot of cool shows to town. Like, he was the one that brought the Space Lady to town. He brought Sun Ra's Orchestra, and he did the Mulholland Drive. That's Eric.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Who, that we went and saw.
I was there.
Yeah. I was right next to you. I was right next to you. Yeah. No, so he's, so I highly recommend, Strange World from Mississippi Records.
So they have a website? Like, if somebody wants to buy that, they can just...
Yeah, kind of. I think he does that a little bit more now since the pandemic, but I don't know. Like, a lot of times you find it on like reseller sites. Because he just didn't do that for so long. But I think that the actual Mississippi Records label, I think he sold it to some guys in Chicago that have done a lot more, I think, online ways to get it. But I'm just so used to getting it either at his shop from Eric, or they'll also have it at Music Millennium and other record shops that we're very lucky to be in Portland and have like 10 really great record shops.
I just got illuminated.
There you go.
Like an old Bible.
I know. We've blathered on for a while.
Yeah. So, is this like what a bonus episode is? This is like,
I think so.
What it is, right?
I think this is what it is.
Yeah. I have some music recommendations and stuff as well, but I'm going to save them.
Okay, good.
We'll talk about something next time. So yeah, folks, if you want, like, this is a sample of what that is. We talk about werewolf movies and comics and records and stuff like that. TV shows, whatever. Go to patreon.com/werewolf by night podcast and join one of the tiers above $1. And you can hear this or see it. If you want to watch it, there's a video version. You can see me.
Yep. I'll wave.
I'm waving right now. That's me.
what we're doing.
So that's me. Cool. I don't have any kind of a snappy outro. Do you?
No, we'll come up with one though.
Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-dum-bum. That's the werewolf on a show.
Okay, you just came up with them. That's perfect.